Hello and welcome to the Blackdog podcast, episode 323.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome. My name is Togo. The master lives here, or something.
His name was Togo. He was only looking after the place while the master was away.
With his head in a straw hat, and he looked just like a brat. And anyway, so hello, yes, welcome to episode 323. I am Lee.
And I am Joanna Lumley.
And I'm not.
And I'm Elton.
There you go. So, yes. It's, yeah, we're all a little, shall we say, I think we're a little sort of post-traumatic stress going on a bit here, I would imagine. Seeing as this week, against my better judgment, as a complete idiot, I suggested watching Manos Hands of Fate without the MST3K overlay.
Do you know what this week has actually brought me?
Mm.
It's actually made me look forward. While I was sitting there watching that film, I thought to myself, man, I can't wait to watch Cool as Ice with Vanilla Ice. And all for a good cause as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little chat, see how everyone's week's been, and then after that, we're going to get on and talk about fucking Manos Hand Job of Fate. Hand of Fudge.
Elton McManos.
Elton McManos. Yeah. I mean, it's just, right, okay, fine. So before we get to that, and before we get to how everyone's week's been, I just decided, thanks to you reminding me, that we'll do all the parish notices right up front.
Yeah, let's do that.
Good idea. Good idea.
While everyone's still here with us.
Yeah,
while everyone's still listening and hasn't walked off in disgust. So, so two parish notices. First one is that we, after last week's ramshackle, let's do something for charity, middle of the episode production meeting, it turns out what we're going to do is we're going to record, all four of us going to record a live commentary. I say live, but we'll be watching it. Whether or not we can stream it or not is technical things aside, but we're going to be doing a commentary which will be recorded for a podcast of Vanilla Ice, Cool as Ice. And we will be doing that on Monday, the 31st of July.
We're going to do it together, so that means we'll have to stop, collaborate and listen.
That's just don't.
Trigger warning.
I'm triggered. I've made so many mistakes this week. This is just adding it all up. So we're going to be doing that for the Grenfell Fire charity that we've chosen. There's one for the dispossessed. Is it dispossessed?
It's the
tenants. The tenants who've been dispossessed from the tower after it went up.
Is it the Standard or the Telegraph?
And the Evening Standard basically kicked it off. And that there were so many different charities on Just Giving that I chose that one because that was the only one that seemed like you could say, oh, that's a legitimate one. There was loads and thousands, hundreds of them. And I'm not saying they're not legitimate, but it was just like I had to pick one that I knew right there was kind of set up, because there was one or two where it was like there's only like one or two people giving like 50 quid and it looked like a money laundering scheme. So I thought, well, I'll just leave that. So we're doing that. So we're going to be doing that for the Grenfell charity, sponsored and endorsed by the Evening Standard. At the moment, we've got 15 people who've contributed so far.
Indeed.
16 people, so it's good. We're off to a flying start.
Much.
Thank you, everyone. So yes, what we'll be doing is we'll be sort of gathering around my house, except for Jim, who will be like Charlie from Charlie's Angels. He'll be on the
voice on an intercom.
The voice on the intercom, exactly. And we'll all watch.
Sexually harassing three beautiful young women. Oh no, hang on.
We'll be like, hello, Jim.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. And we will be watching Cool as Ice. God almighty.
What are you wearing?
0898 talk.
Doing some dancing in sailors' uniforms.
It's like Babe Station night all over again.
Oh God!
What's Babe Station?
No, don't say that. If you invoke that too many times, Ollie's podcast comes back. Right. So anyway, So that was the first parish notice. The second parish notice is that we are going to have the shindig on the 9th of September, and that's in Dean Street at the Nellie Dean pub upstairs. The event is in the Blackdog Facebook group, which is on because of the way Facebook has fucked about with it now, you actually have to scroll to September to see it. But yeah, September. If you can hear this, you are invited. You are welcome. All we're going to do is stand around, meet up with fellow Blackdoggers, and just have a chat and a drink, and we'll be in the pub, and that's it. Really, it's just a gathering. There is no prizes, no giveaways, no nothing. It's just us in a pub.
Kudos points on offer for turning up. So, hey, there's your kudos point.
Yeah, there's your shiny kudos point.
And new people coming along as well. We are like spiders. We're probably more scared of you than you are of us. So, just come along.
Oh, in that case, we're like Tubbs and Edward from the League of Gentlemen. Are you local? We didn't burn them.
This is a local shindig for local people. So come along on Saturday, the 9th of September. Nellie Dean pub here, just off of Oxford Street in Dean Street. Like I say, look all the details up on the Facebook group. So there you go. 2 things. So if you want to give, by the way, if you want to give for the Grenfell charity, the link is on the Facebook group. There is a link that's been tweeted around from the Blackdog Twitter. And also, if you just go to justgiving/Blackdog podcast, then you're away. You'll find us. Or just look up my name on Just Giving. You'll find it there as well. Right. There you go. All of it done. Do you guys want to just do your promotional stuff, and then we can just end this podcast right here and now? Just hang up and go and just call the whole thing off. So let's go and start the podcast proper, and let's find out how everyone's week's been. What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck this is.
That is a stick which has got a weight on the end, and you balance it. You can make it roll over.
Can you?
Yeah, just poke the end.
Is this Return of Craft Corner?
Not quite, but it's not far. Just there you go.
No, it's a return of, or it's a new section called "What the fuck is that?" That's what it is.
Go on in, Darren. Explain to the listeners, seeing as this is not exactly great podcasting material. Before we go into our week,
this was an event made for radio.
Yeah, exactly.
It really was. It's a thing. It's a piece of wood with 2 rubber bits at each. Well, a rubber bit at each end. Is it? They weights?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And it's a slightly sort of rounded or oval in shape, and you stand it up on one end, and then you poke it with your finger or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
And then it flip flaps. And the idea is to hit it just hard enough that it stands back up on the end.
All right. Okay.
It's like a fidget spinner thing.
Right, this is it. You're going to keep hearing a clunk,
clunk, clunk, clunk. We've been hearing a clunk, clunk for about the last 5 minutes.
Almost did it. Look.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Carry on.
Go on.
You just talk amongst yourselves.
Anyway, so we're going to stop it. So we're going to find out how... Oh, my God. We're going to find out how everyone...
Get the stickle bricks. They're quieter.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where the stickle bricks have gone. So
buy some.
Oh, do you want some Lego or
I'm
something?
going to buy some fucking Meccano, and we're really going to go post-apocalyptic on this shit.
Right, okay.
Darren's post-apocalyptic craft corner. That's what it'll be.
Well, that's in 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
I'll be there in the leather chaps. Just leather chaps.
Oh, my God. See those things bouncing off over the horizon? That's the wheels coming off the podcast.
There they go.
There they go. Over the horizon. Whee! Anyway, so let's find out how everyone's week's been. Elton?
Okay. Very, very quiet, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing much has happened. No dramas at work or anything like that.
Mm.
The most exciting thing that happened was I had my Glastonbury festival in my garden again.
Yep.
Which was sparsely attended.
Yeah.
But it was still entertaining and thoroughly good night. And fucking Foo Fighters were wicked.
Weren't they? Thought. They were really good. Was I invited to this thing?
Yeah.
That'll be a no then.
No, everyone's invited.
Maybe we should have the shindig there next year then, in that case. Yeah, let's do that.
Shindig 9 from
80 people turn up at Elton's garden. The fuck is... I've not got enough toast. I've not enough bread. Get some loaves in. Get some loaves in. We've got to feed these people.
Lots of peanut butter. So yeah, the Foo Fighters were good. He said, changing the subject entirely.
Well, I thought the whole festival was pretty bloody good as well. It's very rarely that I can sit down and watch it and enjoy certain parts of it, but I felt everything I watched on it this year, surprisingly, was bloody good.
What, including Ed Sheeran on Sunday?
Unfortunately, I was recording with Andy at that time, so
that's a shame. That was literally like someone had let a busker in off the tube and just let him sort of stand there for an hour and a half.
I heard Jeremy Corbyn was there actually previewing tracks from his new album. How was that?
Straight out of Corbyn.
Yes.
Crazy motherfucker named Corbyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down with the kids, please.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought it was Radiohead because when he turned up, it was like, what am I doing here? Yeah, I don't belong here.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, exactly. All you needed was Michael Gove in the corner singing "Creep," and you would have been fine. That would have been it. Anyway,
but can you imagine Theresa May doing that?
I don't think she goes out. I don't think she goes out in sunlight anymore.
Hello, Dartford.
What?
Hello, Glastonbury.
Fuck off.
Yes.
Well, I know she did attend a big opening for some ship, and the news couldn't show much footage of it because she was heckled that much.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about heckling, did you hear?
He says heckling us.
Rupert Murdoch went to a cinema. Somebody called him a cunt right in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
And they actually reported it like that on the front of the Independent.
I know.
Murdoch called cunt at the cinema preview.
Yeah, I think
that's telling it like it is.
That's it. I think that's it. They've managed to sort of that last scab has been picked off now for the newspapers. So. Everything's going to turn up like that now. Yep. Anyway, anything else, Elton?
No. Move on to someone more interesting.
Okay, well then, on to Jim.
Well, this week I've been mainly doing tech support.
Oh God.
Well, basically, some complete idiot, i.e. me, bought his dad an IP outdoor security camera for Father's Day.
Oh no!
What a
yes, no problem. I'll come around and set it up for you. Said me. It connected all right. We got the picture out. However, the software that came with it was absolutely bollocks.
Oh no!
And the motion detection wouldn't kick in at all. The picture was nice, but you could not set the motion detection thing. And so I said, well, I know there's lots of other different security software suites. I said, I'll take it away with me. I'll test a few out and find one that's nice and easy to use and does the job. And I spent the next couple of days fiddling with this damn camera in my house. Because the thing is, obviously, it's not just finding. If you want some a security camera software that works, there is one that you have to pay a little bit for. It's, I think, $60 for the full thing, and you can hook up like 20 billion cameras to it. It's called Blue Iris. It's got everything you want. Really good picture. You can eminently configurable and not too difficult. However, Dad wasn't really keen to pay any money, so I was looking at free ones, and it's kind of then you're the king of. I've got to find one that works and one that's simple enough for him to use, because I found the trouble with like third party and free open source software is they've mainly been written by propeller heads, and this means for actually even someone who's a bit tech savvy like me, who isn't like living, eating, and breathing the intricacies of digital camera coding, they're fucking gibberish. And it's kind of, set up your camera, right, put in the internal web address, put in the camera's name. I don't know what the camera's name is. I've not been here as long as you. I've not given them names. What are you talking about? I found one. It supported all kinds of different, OSs, including many I'd not even heard of. For the Windows section, had a big, as all the OSs with all the logos. One's called Greeno and all these things I've never even heard of. The Windows, when you click on it, it just says, we're not going to do this on Windows on any platform whatsoever. And I just thought, I hope you burn in a fire and die.
Of course, you got to watch the free software because most of it's sort of like financed by advert. So you could be sitting there watching security footage, right? The camera is pointed at the shed, right? You're just watching there. All of a sudden, an advert for a casino comes up. When it disappears, the fucking shed's gone. Because they've chosen that exact moment just to come in and cut the bastard thing off. So be careful there, Jim.
Mm. Well, actually, if you want a good free one, it's not not most pretty looking software in the world, but one that does work. It's not too difficult. It's called ContraCam.
Oh, right.
That's pretty. That's seen to be pretty decent.
Does that show?
However, having established this, and there's a couple of others, because I'm aware kind of different software will function on different machines slightly differently, as is the way of these things. Went back round to Dad's and set this up, and got it all loaded up, plugged in the camera, and found where he wants to put it is in a massive Wi-Fi dead spot in his house.
Lovely.
So the saga continues.
Nice.
My next job is to research signal boosters for Wi-Fi.
So this Father's Day present that started off as a nice idea has turned into a colossal pain in the arse.
More or less. I think by the time I buy a signal booster, it'll have actually cost me 3 times what I paid for the camera. I want to buy an SD card for the camera.
Okay, nice. I thought you were going to tell me that the camera was on. The camera was on you. Your dad was watching you from his house. While you were sitting there fiddling with it at home, sitting there in your pants and a cup of tea, while your dad's watching you on the computer,
swearing at it. Why you fucking connect? You fucking thing.
Why the fuck? Why did I buy this? Warm paint all over you and a bandana going, why?
It did get to that point with a couple of bits of software going, why isn't this working? Why does it work? But yes, anyhow. If you've got any questions about IP cameras, drop me a line. I think I know nearly everything now.
Fair enough. Well, there you go.
So my week, yes.
So if anybody has any IP address issues, do send them on to feedback@Blackdog Podcast, and I'll forward them on to Jim. Okay, well then, let's move on then to you, Mr. Barnard. How's your week been, sir?
I haven't done much, really. Not really been out and...
No,
not at all. I've been more watching stuff. This week I watched the entirety of the 8th season of Archer, which was very good. It's a short season this time. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's something to do with the contract they've signed for whichever channel it is, or whatever channel it is that they're actually doing the show for now.
Okay.
But I think they've got something like 3 seasons, including this one, left before the whole thing comes to a halt.
Right.
So, it's again, what I like about the show is it tries to do something different with the format every single season. And this one's no exception.
It's no different.
It's no different. It's no exception at all. To that rule. It's very good, very funny. Highly recommend that.
Yeah.
What else did I also watch? There was other crap that I got round to watching. Oh God, I can't remember now.
Glow?
No, I'm doing that next. I'm watching Glow. Yeah, what else did I watch? Oh, there was some other shit I watched as well.
What is this Glow I hear tell of?
Oh, well, you see, I'll tell you because I've watched 2 episodes.
Yes,
so I'll get to my week. I'll do that one.
He can tell you all about that. So yeah, fuck it.
Watch it on your own.
Sorry?
Watch it on your own.
Yeah, watch it on your own. Oh, it's one of those shows, is it? Am I gonna have to sit in the canteen with my back to the wall again?
First episode, you will.
Oh,
anyway,
righty ho. Okay.
Anyway, so,
yeah, I think that's about it. Was there something else I was watching as well? Oh, screw
the
it.
Alzheimer's Channel.
The Alzheimer's Channel. Yeah, there was that.
It's just one show. It's on constant repeat.
No,
No?
I think it was. First one of Preacher, season 2.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Is it back?
It dropped yesterday.
Yeah. Jesus H. Christ is all I've got to say about that one.
Right.
Yeah, things do ramp up considerably. I mean, you know how when they do the opening to a new season, they try and put some excitement in there. This one goes overkill.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
And you realise what sort of, what they're going to come up against from this point onwards.
Well, you see, because I'm waiting for a couple of episodes before I start because I love Preacher. I've got all the books, and the first season just seemed to be covering the prologue of the first book. So I'm really interested and a couple of bits from various other books just thrown in, and I'm really interested to see what they do because there is one guy, Hair-Star.
Yeah,
and they've hinted at him in the trailer, and I tell you what, when he turns up, shit's gonna get real.
Okay, trust me. There's a certain character in episode 1. Shit will get real very quick. Okay, it's not him that you see; it's the effect of his presence that makes itself felt. And trust me, it's kind of like, what the fuck is he using?
What is he doing?
Yeah. What is it? Trust me, it's very, very good. I highly recommend it. It's action packed. It's again funny as well. There's some nice little asides in it.
With Cassidy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's with this show that sometimes you have to watch what's going on in the background. Okay, because they'll have a scene playing out right in front of you. It might be worth watching the episode twice just to keep an eye on stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a particular scene that's nice, and then you realise it's like, oh, what's that going on over there?
Okay, fine.
So yeah, I can't really say much without giving it all away, but I do highly recommend it. It's come back with a very, very strong opening.
Cool. Damn.
So
I might get that. I might just go straight in for weeklies then.
Even if you just watch this one and then just go, right, I'm waiting for the other lot to come out after that. Like I say, strong opening, very, very good. Hits the ground running.
Okay.
And I hope the rest of the series, rest of season 2, is going to be like this.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Well, anything else or?
No. Like I say, I've been apart from picking up a copy of Prey on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Playing that.
I thought you played. You played the demo.
I just played the demo, and
it's more of the same.
No, because where it was very restrictive in the demo, it's actually I thought it was better. I think it was better in the finished game. Yeah. The area that they give you in the demo, you can do more in the actual finished game. You actually get to go and travel to any area you like within the game. It's totally open to you.
Yeah.
So whereas in the demo, I couldn't go back to the very first section, in the actual full game, you can now go back through the airlocks and go back to where you were. So it means travelling about to multiple locations to complete things.
Right.
But again, one of the great strengths of this is there are various different ways of solving an issue. Like, say like you're trying to get into a room and it's blocked by objects that are too heavy for you to lift.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what you could do is you could either build yourself up so that you can actually just pick those things up and chuck them. And when you get to past the first level of strength on Prey, then you become literally a lethal weapon just by picking up anything.
Tanks.
You see the air ripple around the object as you throw it.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you suddenly become a human cannon. Or there are some very nice explosives in it called recycler bombs. And what you do is you lob those into an area and you just see the whole of reality just suck into a point. And when it re-expands like an elastic band, anything that's within that area gets turned just into resources for you. So you go around and pick them up. So you can clear doorways just by doing that.
Nice.
And it's so
cool.
Or you can use other creative ways of getting through bits.
Yeah, it's what they call it nowadays. Play your way, they call that.
Yeah, and this is. I mean, all right, maybe it's not totally play your way completely, but I think this is a good start to that.
Excellent. Okay. Well, my week. I'm trying to think. Okay, right, fine. Well, firstly, while we're on games, I've started playing Deus Ex Human Mankind Divided. Which is very good. Won't go into it too deeply because it's if you played the other ones, then you know what you're getting. Except now it's a lot cooler with certain powers and certain skills, and being invisible and punching someone up the bracket and hitting his mate with the body is quite fun. So that's quite cool. Watching stuff. I mean, I had my Glasto moment. I basically sort of Saturday night I had the Foo Fighters, which I watched all the way through, and I had it on the radio and I had it on the telly, and the kids were in bed and Carol was out babysitting, and I was like, this is great. I had a beer, I was just sitting there watching it all, and then when Dave
Did you go for a wee on the carpet?
I sat in the corner and told everyone to leave it 10 minutes. I mean, it was great.
Did somebody steal your tent when you went back to it as well?
Yeah, that's right. I came back and the sofa was gone. And yeah, it was great. It was great fun. I've never seen the Foo Fighters live, and so when Dave Grohl was standing there at like 11:45 going, actually, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I can go. We can do this. And everyone's like, "Hooray!" And then everyone started counting the amount of songs he was doing, and that was really good. I was so dead impressed with that. The only other, then it went straight from that. It was really weird. I've never.
To Ed Sheeran.
No, it didn't because he was the next day. But they went to I listen to Radio 6 quite a bit, and there's a group called Alt J. Now on Radio 6 they sound all right, but they were headlining the other stage, and you went from Foo Fighters, which were just like full on for like nearly 2.5 hours.
Shit, really?
They fucking blasted it for
Wow.
Elton. It was about that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely. I think they came on about 9:30.
And they went off at midnight.
I think it finished about 12, didn't it?
Yeah, without a break. There was no break. There was no intermission. They just fucking nailed it. Anyway, and you never seen someone having so much fun in Dave Grohl, just kind of just having fun. It was brilliant. It was like, you, sir, have become my man crush. There you go. But
he has that effect on a lot of people.
Anyway, so the thing was, then what happened was, they switched to Alt J, and Alt J are like this nerdy techno rock group, and it was just like, I've never felt cultural shift like it. I almost got whiplash. It was gone. You went from to Alt J. It was like, what the fuck, BBC? You've done fucked up on the schedule. You want everyone to go to bed. This was what you should have put on. And then the other one which I watched was bloody Liam Gallagher, which I wish I fucking hadn't, because he was a complete cock.
He is a complete.
Oh, shush your mush.
No, I'm sorry, but
when his brother's not there to control him and fucking just put the reins on him and just say, "Oh, for fuck's sake, shut up and get on with it."
No, it was. I can't remember if I was saying it to Jen on Twitter or someone, but it was amazing how I can like music, but then just by seeing someone or seeing how they act changes my opinion of the music. Yeah. And when it turned on and I had it on the radio and he was singing and I was in the kitchen, I was just doing some chores, tarting around in the kitchen. It was like, this is really good. I'm liking this. And I went into the living room and the TV's on, and he's standing there looking like looks like he's like some thug down a pub who wants to have a fight with you because all his mates have gone home. It's just like, just fuck off, mate. And then as soon as he opened his mouth again, it was like, oh, fuck off. And then Joe Wiley interviewed him, and then I was just like, oh, fuck off.
Oh, no, she didn't interview him. Oh, man. What, live?
And he just sort of rocked backwards and forwards going, yeah, well, you know, like, yeah, like, no. And it's just like...
What's that? Russell Kane talks about people from like Manchester, they get brought up by eating electric guitars.
Meow.
And it, meow, 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 meow. Did he sound like that?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was just like she was trying to get something out of him, and he just kept going, yo, so like totally like so down with it, like mind blowing and everything. And it was just like, and then they were saying like how someone liked him and someone else liked him, and he was just like, yeah, well, you know, that's understandable or something like that. And I just thought, oh, you cock, you know what? The last 2 hours watching you, I feel like I've now wasted. You can go fuck off. And anyway, so that was that. And then the next night I watched bloody Ed Sheeran. I really wish I hadn't, because that was weird. That was just like a man. It was like, you know when you have those soundtrackers. In fact, you know that Google Doodle from about a week ago.
I think so.
Where it was basically just a bar that went across, and you just drew on it, and it played a tune on a loop, like and then you could draw a bit more, and it would make a different bit of guitar and all this sort of thing. And you know when you get someone who got GarageBand on their iPad, everyone buys GarageBand. Everyone gets it at some point.
Got the Android equivalent of that.
And you just do. And
I'm going to make music. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to make music. I'm going to be a star.
Yeah, and he sort of all I got was someone just. The sense I got was just someone standing on stage winging it with GarageBand, because he walked on and he strums the guitar. He goes fling-a-dick, 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 and then he presses a button and he sort of walks away from it. He's going fling-a-dick, fling-a-dick, and then he does another bit and he goes turned out nice again, turned out nice again, turned out nice again, and it just becomes like a bunch of loops going round in a circle. Fling-a-dick, turned out nice again, fling-a-dick. Down us again, and then he comes up again. And he goes
straight out of Compton.
Exactly, he comes on again and just batters his fucking guitar, and he goes boom, 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 boom. So then he got ding, ding, boom, boom, down us again. Ding, ding, ding. He just went on, and it's like every track was that, and it was like, oh fuck my boots, mate, get on with it.
Just so everybody knows, Lee Metcalf's "Turn Out Nice Again" will be available on iTunes this coming Monday, in anticipation of the album.
Turned out nice again.
Booger.
Fuck. Anyway, so moving on from oh, bloody hell, you've knocked my headphones out.
There you go.
Moving on from Glastonbury, on Netflix, I watched the first episode of Archer, which I enjoyed. I caught up with a couple of missing episodes of Black Mirror, which I hadn't got onto. One called Playtest.
No, I've only seen one episode, and that's one with Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
and I've seen that one. I really like that one.
Yeah, well, the one called Playtest, it's about a guy who runs out of money while touring the world, and he runs out of money, and he goes to this games company, and the games company are dealing with new version of virtual reality. And they want them, and this guy who does it, he makes the best survival horror games. And so what they do is they put this little tiny chip in the back of his head, in the back of this kid's head.
Careful, how much you say?
No, that's it. This is all description, and then he is then in the game, but he's literally seeing and feeling in the game without a headset.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But the game itself reads his mind to see what scares him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I see that's downloadable.
Yeah.
From Netflix.
Well,
so that's great.
The ending is a little bit weak, but the main part of it is, oh man. At least
I really need to see some of these.
Real roast potatoes. I'll give that.
Have you never watched any Black Mirror at all, Elton?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
Oh man, you're missing a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, White Bear.
Oh God. Yeah. Basically, they can be seen in any order you like. Then they're all individual standalone like mini movies.
I did notice that there are bits of technology or things that people use, like
that turn up again.
That turn up again in other episodes, and yeah. So they are kind of linked,
but it's not essential.
No.
And I would definitely recommend taking a look. And didn't we do we did an episode of Hypnagoria on that, didn't we, Jim?
We did, yes.
With
Odile.
Odile. Yeah, that's it.
On White Bear, yeah.
Yeah,
White
very
Bear.
good.
Absolutely brilliant.
But it's all on Netflix. All 3 seasons now are on Netflix. 3 early seasons are on Netflix, and the one with the pig.
Yeah, the very first one.
So they're all there. So even if you watch one and don't like it, give the next one a chance, and you'll find that you'll have a completely different story with a completely different director.
And they're all different characters in it. There's no characters that kind of loop around and White Christmas.
Oh God, White
that
Christmas.
That one, man.
God. That's just horrible.
Yeah,
it's just horrible.
The reason it's horrible. I mean, it's so they are so darkly funny, as well. Most of these episodes. I mean, they're written by Charlie Brooker,
my other man crush.
Exactly, and it's just
my spirit animal.
He gets comments now, even today, about episode 1, and he says, I didn't know anything. This was me. I just made this up as honest governor.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't say a thing. Just I tell you what, Elton. This is your go away homework for this week.
This is homework. Yeah.
Okay. Watch the first episode of the first season of Black Mirror with the Prime Minister trying to rescue the princess.
Bear in mind, it was done quite a few years ago.
It was done well before any possible relation to any news story in the last 4 years.
Yes,
I heard about that story and heard about that episode, so I'm familiar with that because it was just you couldn't escape that, so that's fine. But I'll tell you, that'll be my homework for this week.
Yeah, watch 1 or 2 episodes, but like I say, I wouldn't watch them in binge watching.
No,
it's not a binge watching thing. If you binge watch them, you'll come away so depressed you'll probably want to throw yourself under a bus.
You're going to need some uppers, man.
Yeah,
you do that.
You're gonna need a lot of sugar in your diet. Just to keep you dancing. The other thing I watched was Glow.
Right. Okay.
So for which is another Netflix original, and basically stars a comedian I really admire, Mark Maron, and it also stars Alison Brie.
Alison Brie.
Yeah, Alison Brie. And basically, Glow. Stop it. Basically, GLOW stands for
Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling.
Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling, that's right.
Oh dear.
Yes. And basically, it's a comedy drama about this actress in the 80s, played by Alison Brie, who is she's sort of super railing against the patriarchy because basically all the roles that she wants to do are written for men. So she goes into screen tests and reads out the men's parts as well as the women's parts. Anyway, after a while, she gets a reputation for basically being a difficult actress who's just always a pain in the arse when she turns up and wants to have her role sort of thing. So she stops getting the jobs. And things start to go downhill. And then finally, her agent turns around and says, look, I've got one more job for you. It needs strong, independent ladies with a mind of their own. And she gets sent to this audition, and it turns out she's auditioning for the part of wrestling. This is in the 80s. It's set in the 80s because it's just at the beginning of the WWF, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, all that kind of stuff. And Mark Maron plays this film director who does really schlocky, crappy vampire flicks and lesbian vampire flicks and all this kind of thing. And he's basically been given the job of having to direct, essentially, a Women's Wrestling Federation show. And that's the key of it. But in the first episode, and it's not a spoiler because it's within the first 10 minutes, basically they're trying to find a sort of a narrative thread throughout through the wrestling. But then it turns out that Alison Brie is basically having an affair with her best friend's husband. And the best friend's husband leaves. The best friend comes in during one of these wrestling rehearsals, and they start fighting. At which point, Mark Maron's like, "There you go, there's the narrative," and then hires the best friend on the spot.
Right,
and that's kind of the start of it, really. The best friend
storyline.
Best friend hates Alison Brie. And then it's like suddenly she's gone from thinking that she's the hero to basically being called, you shall be named the Home Wrecker. And it's like that becomes the story. It's funny. It's funny. It's got a nice sense of timing. It's got an interesting sort of place. It evokes the 80s quite nicely. All the actresses are really good. Mark Maron's really good. The humour is, shall we say, not for the faint-hearted.
Good.
Some of the phrasing is a little near the knuckle, especially when Mark Maron's laying out all the different moves that he's expecting them to do, including one called the cunt punch. And so it's all this kind of thing, and then and then there's also some drama stuff going on in the background with the various ladies, and you're starting to learn about all the ladies in this ensemble as it goes around. But the first episode, Miss Bree spends a fair portion of, few times sort of stark bollock naked, and so it's not one for watching on the bus.
Really? Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll end it right there. I've got some Netflix watching to do.
No, stop it, you. Right, anyway, but apart from the nakedness, the humour is really good. Like I say, it's really near the knuckle in some places. It's interesting, it's fun, it's written by the guy who did Orange is the New Black, I believe. Or the lady who did Orange is the New Black. So it's got that kind of sort of drama, humour balance kind of thing going on about it. And I'm down with it. I've watched 2 episodes already, I like it. I only stopped to watch Manos, Hands of fucking Fate.
Manos, Jazz Hands of Fate.
Just fuck that film. Fuck it. Right in the fucking it. No, stop. Anyway.
Stop now. Before I open my arms and show you the hands printed on top of my shirt.
Look at my winged moo-moo.
Look at me.
I might get a shirt like that for the shindig.
I tell you what, Jim, if you turn up looking like the lead keyboardist of Sparks in a hand moo-moo, I will pay for every drink you have that night.
Well, maybe we should all have a moo-moo each, with one with like Blackdog Podcast. We could all stand in a line.
No, we could have one. We could have hands, like knees, and Bumpsy Daisy. But anyway, right, let's get on with this stupid fucking film then.
You need hands to hold someone you care for. You need hands to show that you're sincere. When you feel nobody wants to know you. You need hands to brush away the tears. When you hold a brand new baby, you need tender hands to guide them on their way. Hey, hey. You need hands to thank the Lord for living and for giving us this day. Let's dance for the ladies and gentlemen.
Right, bollocks, balls of sweat. Manos, Hands of Fate. Fuck it hell. Manos, Hands of Fate is a 1966 American low budget. No, really? What? They spent money?
I'm amazed. It's amazing what you can do with 2.5p and a button.
Fucking hell. It's a low budget horror film.
It is fucking horrific.
Yeah. It was written, directed and produced by Harold P. Warren. Yeah?
You wouldn't think that I love this film, would you?
No.
My comments?
No. No.
Because I don't. I was being sarcastic. Right?
Sarcasm.
Right. That's why I was being sarcastic.
Anyway, it's produced by and written and directed by Harold P. Warren, who also starred in the film as Michael.
He couldn't direct traffic.
He couldn't fucking direct himself to the toilet. I don't know. Anyway, so it's widely recognised as one of the worst films ever made. And in 1993, television comedy series Mystery Science Theater, a show based on the premise of comedically mocking B-movies, featured Manos, Hands of Fate, helping the film develop a cult status. I think they misspelt cult.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyway. The film's plot, such as it is, revolves primarily around a vacationing family who lose their way on a road trip. After a long drive in the Texas desert, which looks remarkably like the Los Angeles foothills, but let's not go there.
Yeah,
the family find themselves trapped.
It's the least of your worries with this film.
Yeah, they find themselves trapped. How do they find themselves trapped? They could have left it. No, sorry. Trapped in a lodge maintained by a polygamous pagan cult, and they attempt to escape the cult's members. Escape as the cult's members decide what to do with them. They made a better job of this fucking script than I did. The film is infamous for its technical deficiencies, especially significant editing continuity flaws, a soundtrack and visuals not being synchronized, tedious pacing, abysmal acting, and several scenes that seemingly inexplicable or disconnected from the overall plot, such as a couple making out in a car, or the master's wives breaking out into catfights. Warren...
It's got an air of Monty Python. That sort of thing.
Just
the ladies society recreate the Battle of Pearl Harbor.
Anyway, Warren, the director and writer and star and producer, was an insurance and fertilizer salesman from El Paso.
Sorry.
And he produced the film as a result of a bet. He also starred in it alongside the El Paso theatre actor Tom Nyman as the Master and John Reynolds, who played Torgo. Manos was an independent production by a crew with little or no background or experience in filmmaking and very limited budget at their disposal. Upon its theatrical debut, the film was poorly received and played only at the Capri Theatre in El Paso and some drive-ins in West Texas and New Mexico. It remained obscure until Mystery Science Theater came along, and the original 16mm work print was discovered in California in 2011, from which a new copy of the film, a vastly superior visual quality version, was released on Blu-ray in 2015. Do we want to do the whole production thing?
No, we don't. Let's just get on and burn this film verbally.
The word Manos is Spanish for hands.
The hands of hands.
Yeah, hands. The hands of fate.
Manos. So hands of.
Sounds like it's hands.
Yeah.
Manos de destinado.
Really? Possibly. Yeah,
Note, I know no Spanish.
So it literally translates into hands of fate. The small crew became so bemused by Warren's amateurish and irascibility that they deservedly called it Mango's Cans of Fruit behind his back. John Reynolds, who played Torgo, committed suicide by shooting himself in the head with a shotgun a month before the film was set to premiere. The post-production efforts were minimal, despite promises being made to Warren by the crew members that any problems would be fixed in later editing. Right. One of the more... let's not go for that. Where is it? Oh, to portray his character as Torgo... as a satyr, John Reynolds wore a metallic rigging under his trousers made out of wire coat hangers and foam. Reynolds unintentionally wore them backwards, meaning the effect conveyed made him look like nothing like a satyr, but more like a man in oversized knees having difficulty walking. No one ever corrected Reynolds' mistake, and fake cloven hooves, which should have been part of Reynolds' satyr costume, but instead clearly shown wearing boots in several scenes. The reception. The film premiered, which we've done that.
Just stop now.
Just stop
now.
So actually, this is missing some of the best bits, you know.
Well, I was going to say there's...
I watched the making of, and it's kind of the cast. Remember, most of them actually snuck out of the premiere when they saw the finished results about halfway through, and literally crawled under the seats to escape.
Nice.
The lady who played Margaret, wasn't she in tears when she heard her dubbed voice as well?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's it. All the female voices in the movie were dubbed by one woman.
Woman? What about... That doesn't explain Debbie, the child, who was obviously dubbed by Bert Scroggins, who's a local builder from Dartford, who, struck out for Hollywood for fame and fortune.
Yeah. Oh, by
Mummy,
the way,
let me sit in the front of the car.
Speaking of her, apparently reports were that she, of all the crew members, the only one who was actually paid for her work was Jackie Nyman and her family dog, who received a bicycle and a large quantity of dog food, respectively.
What were you going to say? Large quantity of drugs.
Dogs can't ride bikes, though.
She's eating the dog food to this very day. It is one of the only films, by the way, that's actually sitting with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 0.
Really?
Yeah. And they did plan a sequel, but it never happened. Thank fuck.
What's that then? Is that Fandango, Feet of Fire?
Well, no, I think that's his Wikipedia is inaccurate here. From my research, he actually Warren had another script for a biker film.
Oh God!
Which allegedly might have involved aliens, bikers meeting aliens.
Well, it would have. He's got enough footage in the can of scenery driving past, so he could save a lot of money on that.
What would it been called? Bike of Bikers.
Alien Bike of Bikers. I don't know.
Bourbon, tin of biscuits.
Chuff, bag of farts. Right, okay. Who wants to go first on this?
Oh, please.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Go on in. You go first.
Ridiculously sad fucking mess of a piece of piss poor acting, production, just everything bad. This was like, I don't know. Imagine like any other standard film, right? We'll do it in a twins analogy. Any other film is Arnold Schwarzenegger. This film is the Danny DeVito.
It's the offcuts.
It is the offcuts. It's the bits that were left. That's all it is. It's fucking awful. I mean, seriously, you tell me there are people that consider this an actual classic. Is that right? Is this true?
Well, Jim's done the research. I think
Jim,
he's the one to ask.
Jim, tell me, are there people who seriously enjoy this film, not in a ironic way, but actually really enjoy it and seriously think it's a classic?
No, of course not.
Thank fuck for that. No, you've always got some fucking twat out there. No, it is a classic. No, it fucking isn't. Justify the existence of this film.
Being utterly inept.
Man, I could see it was utterly inept, but I didn't enjoy it one bit at all. It's not so bad it's good, it's just bad. That's it. This is just fucking awful. I was bored within the first 5 minutes. Not even that. I think I lasted probably less than that, and I was already scrabbling for the Lego. You see, this is how bored I got with it. It was like, you know those security cams you get where they show you an image from like footage every 5 seconds?
Yeah.
That's how I watched it. So I didn't actually see cloven hooves and shit like this because I kept turning away doing more interesting stuff like applying Veruca cream and stuff like this. You know.
Cleaning out the cat tray.
Yeah.
Improving your internet in the process.
And deliberately accidentally handling the cat shit so I'd have to stay in the bathroom for longer to wash my hands. So I wouldn't have to come back and watch this. Oh dear, I seem to have missed a part. Oh, the trigger on my Xbox is broken, so I can't actually rewind it either. Oh, what a pity.
Oh dear.
Because I'm sure it would make a whole blinding difference to how I saw the film in the end. That one little bit that I've missed.
Well, there was 10 to 12 minutes of just standing still doing fuck all anyway. So
it's like that in between everything else, is it? Every scene had that in it. It was
I can explain that actually.
Go on
then.
It's in the making of documentary. The actors were saying Warren's idea of directing a film was to point the camera at the actors and go, "Well, do something." To which they were kind of, "Do you want to give us a script?" And he's going, "No, you're actors. Just do something."
Wow. just wow. And
it was all on Handycam as well, wasn't it? Did you mention this or not?
No, I mean, if there's anything any little facts, just throw them in because I'm not going through the wiki. I refuse.
Okay. I read that it was all done on a Handycam, and he could only record for 32 seconds at a time.
Really?
Yeah. So there's not a shot longer than 32 seconds.
They all feel longer than 32 seconds, though.
Do you know what, Elton? I'm going to take your word for that because I'll be fucked if I'm going back and watching that again with a fucking stopwatch. And what? No, I couldn't watch it the first time I saw it. Really,
No.
I had to take breaks of at least 5 minutes in between watching bits of it.
So you didn't see it in one sitting?
No, I did see it. Well, I watched bits of it in one sitting. I kept doing other stuff. This was it. It was like, the ironing needs doing, and I've got a bit of a mold problem I've got to take care of that I should have taken care of 6 years ago. I feel as though the time is right now
to go up on the roof and repair the roof.
To get that done, to go and do that. You know,
the toilet needs scrubbing.
Repair the fence out in the garden.
It's midnight.
My chimney is a little bit wonky, even though we don't have a fire in the house.
In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a good neighbour. I'm going to go around to the rest of the houses in the street and see if they've got anything else that they want doing. Any ironing, any polishing, hoovering, that sort of thing.
Nice.
Rather than have to sit and watch any more of this old bollocks.
Right.
It really was nearly the movie that I just switched off and didn't bother watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good job I did take these tiny little breaks.
Otherwise you would have broken the sacred coven.
Yeah.
The Blackdog.
And I would have said, "And what are you going to do about it?"
I would have just said, "You fucker! I could have done that. I should have done that."
I'm playing the Joker right there. Okay.
Okay.
So, what I really loved in this, right? Okay, they've got the so-called devil dog, right? He just did. Even the dog didn't know what the fuck it was supposed to be doing, right? It was just dogs just look at stuff and they're interested in anything. It's like, oh, there's a football. It's my favourite thing ever. Oh, look, there's a stone. It's my favourite thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a piece of grass. It's my favourite thing ever. But it was like, I don't know what I do.
What?
I feel pressured.
It looked embarrassed.
It did, didn't
I've
it?
never seen the Doberman look embarrassed, but that dog looked embarrassed.
I'm surprised we didn't get a scene where you see him hooking like a couple of coat hangers up under its sort of like his lips to try and make it look like it was growling and stuff. And it's like, you killed us. I really believe you killed a small dog, and I really believe it was your fault. And what was going on with the master, or should I say, Freddie Mercury in a fucking caftan?
No,
what was that?
It's the lead pianist from Sparks.
Zim-tie, this caftan ain't big enough. No, fucking it is actually. It's for the entire cast. I could house you. Maybe that's when they were on location. That's where they actually lived.
In his caftan.
The whole crew was in there. They just. It was the crew tent because they couldn't afford anything else. And it was like, you could see it was the director's like sister or brother or somebody who had designed the print on there. And so it's like, you playing the master, you must show off the print because we're hoping to sell it in Primark later at some time in the future, very future, seeing as Primark doesn't exist. See, I'm so brilliant, I've just invented Primark. We're going to sell this for £2.50. It'll be a surefire seller. It'll be like one of those fucking wingsuits. You'll be able to dive off the top of a house and fly.
Strong wind, and he would have gone.
That's right.
Just one strong wind, he would have been.
I emphasise my point by outstretching my hands and my arms, and you can see the big red hands of Manos, who's got incredibly long, thin fingers.
Manos, sir, not appearing in this picture.
Exactly. Yes.
Fuck's sake.
Go
on.
So yeah, there you go.
Is that it? Because we'll move on to Jim.
This is going to be a cast of flashbacks.
It is going to be a cast of flashbacks. I can only tell you that.
One bit I did really love, right, was where they're going, the bloke's going, don't worry about Debbie, she's fine on the sofa, and then you see them, the mum and dad, look over to the wall at something, and they're stood there, and they just stand there looking, and then it's as if the kid's like, right, somebody's poked it in the ear hole.
Yeah.
It gets up and walks out the door, and then it turns around. And they're like, "Where's Debbie gone? Where? Turn around, you stupid cunt.
Yeah.
Where's she gone? Oh, it's all terrible.
Debbie,
come back, Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry about me, Daddy. Look, I found this dog.
Yeah.
Honest, got to gear. I won't get back in the box. I won't get back in it. Get back in it. I won't get back in the box.
It was little Herb Valanches in a dress, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Dipland.
Oh, that other bloke, Wang Wang.
Wang Wang.
Yeah, Wang Wang from the movies, the world's smallest bloke.
Yeah, exactly.
Wang
3'9", kick you in the nutsack from behind. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, okay, well, moving on to Jim.
I love you, Daddy.
Yes. By the way, just so everyone knows, the budget was $19,000 on this.
What did they spend it on?
No idea, but there's no known
was that craft
money
services?
taking. I don't know. I think it might have been petrol.
Ron Reynolds spent it on LSD, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Torgo's LSD habit got the better of him, I think.
Fucking hell, fire. What was that all about? Torgo. What's that?
Don't know.
It was
like a Wurzel's tribute act.
It was. It was like his voice going all over the place.
Master, I would like to have a wife. Why do you have to have all the verbs?
You promised to fix my talking speed, Master. I do believe my batteries need children.
In the summertime, the weather is high with your chicken. Master would not like this. No.
I've tried loading Spectrum game and it hasn't worked because my speed keeps changing.
Beep, beep, beep.
I mean, nothing to anybody above the age or below the age of about 30.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Possibly even more than that, actually, but below the age of 40.
Yep. Okay. I think every time Torgo spoke, fucking loading screen of Rambo First Blood appeared.
No, it was another level of fucking hypersports. That's what happens. It was what do they call that loader?
Turbo loader.
The turbo loader. That's it. Yeah, that was it.
Torgo loader.
Torgo loader.
Torgo loader.
Oh God! Go on, let's move on to Jim. Let's get
and another thing.
No, do Jim because I get the sneaky suspicion that he's gone above and beyond with research on this, which is kind of scary.
Jim's like, have I?
Have I? I have. Well, he said research earlier.
Oh, right, okay.
I watched a making of, which was fascinating.
Oh, God.
And hilarious.
Oh, was that on the version that we had? Because I know there was about 3 different other files on that thing.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
One's a making of it says really worth watching. Another one then on the making of Manos, Hands of Felt, the puppet version.
Fucking hell.
Which I just found is actually has been filmed now. It's on YouTube, which I really must watch because that looks amazing.
Oh my God. Go on in, Jim. Mm-hmm.
Also, I've been aware of Manos, Hands of Fate for a long time, as it is a fairly infamous movie, to say the least.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if anything quite like it.
No.
Ever.
I mean, I think it's kind of, it reminded me a little bit of Birdemic in the kind of the sense of this was a movie made by an amateur that should have never have seen the light of day properly.
No.
Now, from what I can tell from my research, actually, pretty much that actually happened with Manos, Hand of Fate. He got shown at his hometown and then vanished, pretty much. But at some point, Warren did sell it to a distributor where it went on to the driving circuit. And according to the making of I Watched, one of the experts said it was a film that they often used to tack on to make a triple bill. And effectively, it was the film they put on at the end of the night to get everyone to go home.
That's about right.
But it's one of the actually, considering it actually sort of vanished, it's really the only reason anyone's heard of it was because Mystery Science Theatre found a copy lurking in some vaults. And it's kind of... It's different to say something like Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is a bad film, but has always been kicking around.
Yeah.
Because Manos thing's actually just been pretty much... So its cult has been created sort of overnight. It's not been lurking out there since the 60s. It sort of appeared and then vanished into the darkness, and rightly so.
Yes, damn right it fucking should. Yeah.
But it's one of those things, it's kind of... For me, I mean, I was just watching it kind of just laughing because it was kind of, I just couldn't believe how ineptly made it was. Because it is like the kind of shit you try and make if you get a camera as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that level.
Yeah.
In fairness, it's kind of the idea that the father will end up to be the new Torgo. It sort of comes sort of weirdly full circle. It's kind of, there's a germ of an idea there that if someone talented had been involved, it would have probably made a good kind of episode of something like The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone or Tales of the Unexpected.
Yeah.
As it is, quite clearly, he didn't have nearly enough material for a feature film in his script.
Not even close.
Not even close. And it was just kind of incredible to see a man just leave the camera running. And I mean, Torgo's just there twitching for all he's worth because the camera's still going. He's not cold cut. And I really felt for that guy. Not the world's best actor, but God damn it, he was trying. I mean, what else do you do? The camera's on you.
Yeah.
What you're expecting him to go, cut at any minute. It just carries on for another minute. Twitching, jerking, going, is he... Come on, get the clapperboard out. Come on, he's going to do it. No, he's not.
No,
well,
not.
What do I do? Just carry on.
Yeah.
I literally think it was so... There's some bizarre things to it. If kind of like, it was really, really cheaply done. And yet, they seemingly could afford to pay someone to write music, someone who actually went through the trouble of writing a special theme for Torgo for whenever he's carrying luggage.
Hold on, Jim. Hold on, Jim. Here we go.
It's kind of, what on earth was going on that someone thought, okay, there's a few scenes of him carrying bags. I'll write a leitmotif, Torgo carrying bags.
What?
Enough.
No, that's only 10 seconds. That felt like much longer. Sorry about that, Jim.
It's all right. That's very much like the film. But it was kind of, I was just, I mean, Torgo fascinated me. I was like, what is going on with his legs? all the way through, the film's posing in an inept way interesting questions. Who is Manos? Who is the master? What's the deal with all the wives in the diaphanous night dresses? What's the strange sort of ruined temple? Why is he obsessed with hands? And you never get any answers to these questions whatsoever. I mean, as I watched the making of it, in an early original script, he was said Torgo was a satire, which they dropped that idea and didn't tell the actor.
Yeah,
just on the costume anyway.
Yeah, and then he put it on backwards, so it looked like he was walking around.
Brilliant.
Walking around holding keys up his arse.
I mean, for me, it is one of the worst films I've ever seen. But unlike other terrible things I've watched, it didn't really annoy me. I just sat there marveling at kind of, this is unbelievably bad. Especially the shots at the end where Warren shoots the master and the camera isn't even in focus.
Nope.
For ages.
Nope.
And it's just like he's trying every f-stop known to man, but he can't get a decent shot to save his life.
Well, on that scene when he's shooting the master, you get a two shot where you actually see the husband and wife, and he's holding the gun, and he's shooting at the door where the master's coming through. The master ain't there. He's actually not in that shot.
He's actually in the doorway behind him.
He's
looking
not even in.
What are you doing, you stupid tart?
Not even in that doorway. You see him come through the doorway, then it cuts to them, and then he's not there. He's just not there. Then it cuts to him just as a out of focus close up, and then it cuts back to them.
It's like, did you spot the vanishing headscarf that the wife's wearing? It keeps coming and going and coming and going. Oh,
so what annoyed me was when they're trying to get away from the ass, and she falls through going, "Oh, I can't go any further. I'm tired." It's like, you've been laying around all fucking movie. What the fuck is going on here?
They were, even if they moved at a medium pace away from that fucking house, they would have got further away. And then they come up with the miraculous fucking idea of going back to the house because no one will look for them there.
They'd obviously watched Mad Max Fury Road. That's what it was.
Fuck.
So they took that idea.
Fuck.
Let's go back.
No.
Because the bloke with the face mask on won't be there. No, but the master will be.
Yes.
No fooling him.
No. Yeah. It wouldn't be like that's the house that they live in. So fuck. No. Stop. Gotta keep the powder dry. Powder must be dry. Who knows what I might think about this film? Anyway,
before you start, I'm going back to Mum and Dad's, and I'll watch it from there because I feel as though I'll be safe.
The blast radius.
Well out of blast radius.
Anyway,
we'll transmit live. I can hear it from there.
No, it's all right. Don't worry.
Skype in.
Yeah,
I'll just remind you who put it on the list.
I know. I've only myself
You're
to
only
blame.
yourself to blame.
I know, which makes it doubly.
Don't take it out on us. It's your own fault. You knew the risk.
I knew the risk. I was foolish. I was a mistake. I made a mistake.
Oh, your arrogance, Medcalf. Your arrogance.
I have become death, destroyer of worlds.
Your vanity took over, and this is what you've done.
I made a judgment call, and it was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call. Oh. And Elton, what did you think of this film? Don't say you like it, because I will transmute my entire body down the line and I will kill you.
How could you tell from that me breathing in?
Because you sounded like you were smiling. You had your troll smile on. I could hear it.
It's not a troll smile. It really isn't. Can I have the keys to the bunker, please?
Oh, fuck the fuck off. Seriously.
Well, let me just say, because I didn't actually really get a chance to finish, but
sorry, Jim,
I do not regret watching this movie. I'm glad now I can say I have seen it.
Sorry, Jim. We got carried away. Sorry.
What did I say to Lee?
It's one of those. It's a bit of cinematic history. I've got the badge now. I've done it. I don't regret seeing it. And if I can now enjoy Manos' hands of felt, I'll take that as a plus.
Fine. So will you be watching it again, Jim?
I probably wouldn't watch it again unless I had a rowdy house party full of people who were up for heckling a bad film. Or what I would definitely do if there was some sort of midnight screening where people were going to be heckling and doing the full midnight movie thing. That would be tempting, because I think that would be an absolute hoot to see it in that kind of Cinemara's panto. I would definitely do that. I think that'd be fun. But I wouldn't stick it on to watch it again in any other circumstances. I've done my time. I've seen it. That's all I need to do.
Well, there you go. That's a positive.
I've got a new benchmark for what a bad film is. Although it's not the worst I've seen, though. That's still a film called, I think, Wrong Road or Wrong Turn I watched, which was fucking reprehensible and evil.
Wrong Turn? Is that what you're talking about? The one with Elijah Dushku in it?
No. It's an old, not even a video nasty, though it should have been, which is horrible.
Oh, right, okay. We won't
Wrong Road, it's called, I believe.
Wrong Road.
Don't awful.
We are not putting that on the docket.
No.
I've learned from my hubris. I've learned.
Good. Let that be a lesson to you.
Okay, sorry, Jim. So I didn't mean to cut you off earlier.
No, it's all right. So go on, Elton.
Go for it.
Head the way for you now. Go on. It's safe.
Well, I'm of the opinion, very much like Jim, that I've seen it, and I don't think I'll watch it again, but I can see me putting it on to show other people, to show how bad it is.
Okay.
And it's because what I watched was, I believe, truly unique.
You can say that again. Fucking hell. Go on.
I don't think this is a film that is so bad it's good. It nearly falls into that category, but doesn't quite. For me, this film is so unbelievably terrible that it's entertaining in no other way that any other film has been before I've ever watched. It's entertaining to watch in a weird, macabre type of way. Right, let me set my stall out on that. Right,
here's some more Roadhog.
Away you go, mate. Have at it.
It is bad beyond belief. The acting is the worst I've ever seen in a film, ever, bar none, bar nothing. The plot reminds me of stories that my English teacher used to tell us in 10-minute little stabs when it was quite quiet at school, and just something he made up on the top of his head. And the script, you can almost hear the crayon it's written in. It's just fucking diabolical.
Sponsored by Crayola.
But with that being said, I suppose I've never really laughed in disbelief at a film so much. I had a fucking hoot watching this. I thought it was really, really bad, but made me fucking chuckle.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, when I say the word really, imagine I'm saying really every single time, right?
Okay.
It's really badly dumb to the point where you wish it was a silent movie. But when there's silent parts, you want to murder the saxophonist and the pianist with their own instruments. It's so fucking bad. That saxophone and the piano just playing constantly. Just fuck off.
I've got a theory about that. I think there was a bit of a mistake while they were actually doing the audio, redoing the audio. Somebody just had the radio switched on, and it was just, that was it that picked up that recording, because it never actually had music on it before. It wasn't planned to have any music at all, but somebody's left, like, you know, Radio 1 or something on as they're doing the editing. It's got in there, or the Jazz Channel.
Do you want me to turn that Torgo theme back on again?
No, I fucking don't.
Right. I will. I'll press it.
I think music is a fluke on this one. I mean, you know, me and my parents used to do that we used to record, like, you know, stick a tape recorder by a radio when the Radio One was doing the chart countdown. They've just done the same thing here.
Yeah, except their batteries ran out halfway through. Anyway, sorry, carry on that one.
No, that's all right. No. Where was I? I suppose the acting, I suppose.
What acting?
Well,
Where?
yeah, I've seen school plays where children have mumbled, forgotten their lines, fallen over, dropped their instruments, burst into tears, and they're more accomplished actors than these fucking collection of lobotomized, berry-eating half-wits that we see on this fucking screen. They're fucking idiots.
Lobotomized, berry-eating fuckwits. I like that. That's a poster. That's a poster.
Fucking the decisions that everyone makes, though, and the chances that they get to change them decisions that they get. So, should we go into the house? Let's think about this. I don't know. Do we go in the house? Well, the house is there, and the man's saying he doesn't want us and he doesn't like children or dogs, but the lady can come in. I don't know. Shall we go in this house? Let's think about it a little bit more while the weird, creepy man on LSD looks at us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the background.
That Torgo, though, I fucking love him. I thought he was brilliant. I've met a few people like him before. Normally they're hanging around a fountain in a city centre, though, I think.
I was going to say, do you go past many methadone clinics on your way to work?
Well, it got to the point where I wanted to find my local dealer and find out if he was holding. It was crazy. I just wanted to join in. He was off his tits. He was clearly well gone. And that dog, that tiny little dog that they had, I can't even remember the name of it, that must have had a pill or two. Because 1 minute, they're all looking at the picture over the fireplace. Or not over the fireplace, on the wall. Yeah. And they're going, oh, he looks really sinister. And that dog, it's scaring me so much. Then all of a sudden, the little fucking dog starts walking. You think, where the fuck did that come from?
Then they all just stand there and look at it. They're all just standing around looking at the fucking performing dog.
Yeah. And then they go back, and then they go back to the picture as if they haven't seen it before and go, that dog looks sinister. No, dear, you've just said that. No. That dog, he looks sinister.
Yeah. That picture was the moment where I started screaming, but not in the right way. But
is there a right way to scream?
There is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Right.
Keep going
on. Was it possible to get any more bad actors in this film, though? Because you have certain scenes in this which just don't go anywhere whatsoever. You have the couple kissing where you have the car drive past. Okay, that gives you representation of there's nothing down that road.
Flashbacks. Pain.
But hang on. But then the coppers turn up and tell them not to stop necking and disappear, and they can't fucking act for toffee. And then it happens again, as if like the directors forgot that he's filmed that scene. And then the police turn up and they go looking for him. But they only take like 4 steps toward, hey, we should go out and search for this. I heard gunfire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, we've searched enough. There is no one here with a gun or any gunfire to be seen in this vicinity of my torch. Let's walk back to the car. Walk. Well, let's get in the car now. Yeah. In the car. Let's drive off. Oh. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like that gunfire could have come from New Mexico. Really? How still is the air around this area?
What the fuck? What does that even mean?
It's just what? Yeah, you heard gunshots, and let's not bother checking it out. Oh,
nope. I'm going to see here. Move on.
Film.
But I suppose I had a lot of fun watching this. I don't think I'd sit down and watch it per se myself ever again. I've done that. Like Jim said, got the T-shirt for that now. Can put that in the bank. It's done. But it does give you a representation on how fucking bad things can get. Now, there are certain shots. Not certain shots, so I'm talking bullshit there. There's one shot I quite liked, and it was one that, Jim, you pulled up for the one where the master is all out of focus, but the door frame's in focus behind him. I kind of like that.
Don't tell me that was intentional. Do not even pretend that was intentional. Don't. Yeah. Just don't.
Right, my thought on that is because you got all this weird stuff because they've decided to go back to the house because no one will look for them there. Fucking idiots.
Elton.
No.
Elton.
And then they walk into the house and it's all this weird, as if he's really in your face and a bit, you don't exactly know what's going on. There's a smidgen of an idea there. There really is a smudge, a butt crack of an idea there, but nothing more than that. It's almost accidental.
Almost accidental. Almost. It was completely and utterly accidental. It was that was the same shot as when they had Torgo carrying the fucking luggage in. He just set the camera up, focused it on the door, and then the bloke just got too close to the fucking camera.
I quite like that shot. Just personally.
You like a shot which was actually done by mistake.
Yes, there you go. That says everything about the film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
not knowingly done professionally.
And one thing that really bugged me was the women having fight on the beach or on the sand. They just looked like they were having too much fun. They were all smiles and laughing and joking. Like, no, this is wrong. It's feeling wrong in a film that is out of place in itself. That felt out of place.
Yeah,
it felt fucking weird.
Yeah,
but I like the twist at the end. There is something there, as Jim said. There is a nugget there that if it had been dealt with a bit better, then this could have been it could have been a half-hour real spooky thing that you had to see once in your life. But they missed it. It was like taking a shot on a dartboard and hitting the lady behind you. It just totally missed it by a mile.
It was like firing a tennis ball at the fucking sun and missing by miles, hitting the fucking moon in the way. Oh, you is that you for the moment, Elton? Elton, has he gone?
I think he has.
Is he been taken?
Mic drop.
His mic dropped it.
He's the door of the bunker's shut on him.
Peace out, motherfuckers, and he's gone. Yeah, actually, look on the pier in. His name's gone.
Oh dear.
You there, Elton?
Ooh.
Oh, I think Manos has had him.
But while Elton hopefully reconnects or escapes the clutches of the master, I would say throwing a tennis ball at the sun strikes me as an apt metaphor for the making of this film. Because it's kind of, someone thought, I'm going to throw a tennis ball at the sun. The sun's huge. There's no way I can miss. Yep. Yeah. It's easy to make a film, but the sun might be big, but it's a real long way to get there.
Yeah. Yeah,
and there's a lot of space to get lost in between.
Yeah, one mistake of 1 inch is going to cost you a several trillion miles by the time you get there.
Yep.
Fucking hell, fire! Oh God, this film. Okay, just where to start with this, right? I mean, first off, this is all on me. I know this is on me.
Yeah, sure,
it makes the pain even worse, though. Because I thought, right, sometimes when you watch a bad film and the things that come to mind are like all these clever little things to say, and you take the piss and you can sort of pick the thing apart. But this is so colossally inept, it can't even call itself shit. And the problem was, as soon as it started, I had to watch it 3 times because I thought I'd got a dodgy. No, the opening. I thought that it hadn't started. I thought I'd got a wrong copy because it just started. It's just like, here's a picture of a mountainside looking down over a hill, and it's just.
Well, there are 3 versions on YouTube.
Yeah.
Various starting points at that bit.
Yeah, and then you see the girl turn up and go, "Mommy, I'm cold.
Mommy, I'm cold.
Mommy, I'm cold." And then it's like, then all of a sudden up pops Manos' Hands of Fate. It's like, oh, so I shouldn't have watched like the same opening like 3 times. Anyway, so I start watching it, and then the ineptness just really smacks home. It starts off with that fucking thing, the fact that lip syncing is just all over the place, and everyone speaks all like this. Hello, yes, hello. You want to fight me, Sam Seed? You ahead of me? It's like some sort of fucking shit old kung fu movie, and then it just goes into this montage of just driving, and I literally, I watched it, and then as I was watching it, I flicked I put my Xbox controller down, and it hit the left stick, and it flicked to the making of documentary, or it flicked to something that now, thanks to Jim, I know is the making of documentary. I'm like, no. So I flicked it back, started watching it again, and I'm skipping forward at 32 times speed, and all I can see is it's just gardens going past. And it's like, I'm like, I've just wasted like 10 minutes and fuck all has happened. From there, it went past the necking couple and the music, and it's like, it's literally, you can almost hear the director going, now stop kissing, now look at the camera, now pick up the bottle of gin, now drink the bottle of gin, now carry on kissing, now look at the car goes past, and then 5 minutes after the car goes past, the lady looks up and goes, why are they going up there in a hurry? It's like, what? And as soon as that happened, it was just, and the dad is just ignoring everything. Yep. It was just, that's the problem. I mean, the acting is bad. The filming is bad. The direction is bad.
The timing is bad.
The timing is bad. But worse than all of that, the script is the most moronic thing I have ever bore witness to. Yep. That's including Birdemic. That's including The Fifth Element. I have literally never seen a film where literally this guy has driven up a road off of a motorway and driven for like nearly 10 minutes going, no, it's okay, honey. I'm sure we're not lost. No, we are not lost. No, oh, we're not lost, honey. No.
I don't think we're lost.
I don't think we're lost.
Well,
where are we? I think we're lost. It's like, you've driven on a straight fucking road, you silly bastard. Just turn the car the fuck around and go back to the fucking motorway. And then he goes past that house with Torgo. Torgo looks like the biggest wrong'un you could possibly come across in anywhere. He wouldn't just stop. And he goes, it's getting dark. Torgo, can we stay here? No, he doesn't even say we can stay here. We will stay here, Torgo. It's like, really? You're actually asking to stay. You are actually stopping.
He's not even asking. He's stating a fact.
He's telling Torgo that he's staying. And it's like, everything from here on in, I have no sympathy for you. And the thing is, the excuse is, it's getting dark soon. It's like, you've got a fucking car.
With lights on it.
And you drove for 5 minutes. I know, because I saw all of those 5 minutes up a dirt track from a motorway. You could be home in 10. I know this, because I saw the other 10 minutes of you driving, you stupid cunts. And we get all the way there. He goes into the bloody thing in Torgo, and the wife's going, oh, I don't know. And there's Torgo going, oh, the master will like you. The master will like you. Yes, he will. He will like you. Waving his hands, I like you. Not so much your children, or your puppy, or
your little dog too.
Your little dog too, or you weird carpet salesman person.
And you, no. Yes, you know who you are.
Yes,
you. That one there, in the cardigan.
In the 47th row.
Yes.
But then he does all that, and they go, no, it's okay, honey. I'm sure we'll be fine. And in they go. There's a fucking floor-to-ceiling picture of the guy from Sparks, the lead pianist from Sparks, with a dog whose eyes are glowing, and they're going, that must be the master.
Ooh,
he's really sinister. Yes, he does. He looks really sinister. And it's like, oh, I'm sure everything will be fine, honey. It's like, how much more wrong could this fucking place be? Get in the car, go. End the story right there. Just end it. And the problem was, as soon as he got to that point, and then it's like the lady's sort of being leched over by Torgo and then refuses to say anything. And the fucking scene where Torgo's pressed up against the window, basically knocking one out, and she refuses to say anything. And there's the dad.
I'm just polishing my staff.
Yeah. It's just, from that point on, all I literally did was sit there with my phone, making notes, and then eventually I just went, oh, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck the fuck off, fuck this film, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off.
Film. Fuck and him.
The only
fuck
bit,
that
do you want to know the only bit that actually made me laugh, unintentionally, but made me laugh?
Got him.
Was the bit where the master rises up in a spooky moment, and everyone's talking about the fact that, you know, obviously he's dead, and they're all dead, and it's like, I would rather be dead than kill the child, and all this sort of thing. But the first thing he does, he gets up, he looks around, he looks at Torgo, and he goes, I shall raise my wives. 5 minutes later, they're all sitting around in a little like Tupperware circle, arguing, and the master's sitting on the sofa, just going like, "What? What the fuck is this?"
I didn't sign up for this bullshit. What's going on here?
Exactly.
Bitches, enough.
Exactly. It was literally that whole thing of like, good in my mind. This was better in my mind than it was actually happening. I've got 10 wives. Oh yeah. 5 minutes later, why will they not shut up? It's just that you could see it on his face, and it's just like, oh my god!
Yeah, what do I do?
What
do I do?
What? I mean,
I've got nothing.
I can't even put them back to sleep. I don't know.
Well, actually, I can.
Exactly. And bloody Torgo, he got killed 4 times. 1 minute he's in the corner and the master's waving his moo of death at him, and Torgo kind of goes down like a sack of spuds. 2 minutes later, he's skipping behind the master. Then 3 minutes later, he's being attacked again, and then the master finally gets to these girls and he goes, "Sacrifice him." And it's like they basically massage him to death. They give him a couple of facial strokes. It's like an ASMR video. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just utterly incompetent from start to finish. And let's not let's not skip over the very slight but ever so completely fucking dodgy idea that old master and Manos and whatever ends up right at the end with the little girl in a nice flowery dress, all tied as one of his wives. It's like, what? You're really gonna go there?
Yep.
You're really gonna go there with that? I have never been so cross at a movie in all my days, and I'm including Birdemic in that, and I'm including Fifth Element in that, and it's just. It made me cross. It made me so cross. And the problem was, I knew at the beginning I could probably sit there and laugh at it. But the thing is, I could only, as Jim rightly pointed out when I said about would he watch it again, it's like you can watch it with friends and take the piss. And you can watch MST3K and take the piss. When you're on your own, that's just wrong. It was just so bad. It was so inept. And the problem was, I was watching it thinking, you know what? I gain nothing from missing minutes of this. I can literally jump forward 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and there will be nothing missed. And then it got to the final showdown with bloody Michael getting hit over the head in the most unconvincing fashion by Torgo and strapped to a tree. And then his wife is in the house, and she's in the house with the kid, and then it's that whole thing of she's sitting there going, "Oh, Michael, won't you save us?" And it's like, why are you thinking this, my love? Because if you were that bothered before, when Torgo was groping you up, and when the master was looking through your window, and when Torgo was rubbing one out against the window, all those should have been causes for calling out for Michael. But instead, sitting on your own in a bedroom, that's the reason you want to get upset. Because everything else happens out of her line of sight while she's asleep. Mm-hmm. So, and the whole film is just that. I just sat there open mouth shouting "fuck off" at the screen, literally for an hour and 10. And then when it got to the very, very fucking end, when it got to that end and you saw the two ladies go up the same drive, and it's like, go up the same drive, and then all of a sudden it comes up the end with a question mark. It's like, don't you dare fucking do that. Do not give me a fucking question mark like you're coming back for a sequel. Fuck you, and I hope that you and all your camera equipment is burnt to the fucking ground.
What other film does the question mark thing?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I know there's been a couple where it's like was it the end or is it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is probably stealing it from the original Blob.
Oh, yeah, there's that. I know there's a more modern one where they put a question mark on it, but anyway, question marks on the word the end.
Well, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
At the end of that, they go the end, and it's a question mark at the end of it.
Yeah. All of those. No. Bad. Never put a question mark on the words "the end," because otherwise it wouldn't be the end, would it? If you put a question in it. Or would it? Fuck you.
No, it's not. But is it?
Yeah. So we watched Manos Hand of Fate 1, and we were hoping for a sequel.
Fuck off.
I understand that they're bringing it back like the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's a shared universe.
Shared universe. The Manos...
Torgo's getting his own movie.
Yeah. Torgo of the Galaxy.
Yep. I hear there's the Master's getting one. It's him on tour with the other singer with the curly hair in his band. God. Well, him and the rest of Sparks.
Just this down and big enough for the both of us. Anyway.
My name's Torgo. I look after the place while the Master's on tour.
Yeah. So I literally thought I was going to have something like scripted out, little rant and all this sort of thing. But I just hate this film. I hate it. I genuinely detest everything about it, and I don't even think I can watch it ironically. I really don't. It's just fucking... It offends me, literally, in a very physical way. And when it came out for the fucking twist, here's Michael standing there going, I look after the house while the Master is asleep. He's like, so what was the point of this whole story? The whole point of this story was that they turn up, they force themselves into this house, get caught by not going anywhere and not doing anything, and then he ends up
getting a new job.
Yeah, and he gets a new job. It's like a shit rendition of Hotel California.
I suppose this is an information film, really. It's showing you why you should never be a home invader in the county of Los Angeles. Because this shit happens to you, okay?
Yeah, exactly. I just fucking hated it.
Breaking an entry is bad. This is what you get.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? The worst thing is I really wish I had... Because, I mean, when we do, like I said, when we do bad films, something funny comes out of it, usually. I got nothing. You didn't even give us that. I didn't even give me that. I just literally just sat there like, no, I have wasted so much of my life just watching this piece of shit. It's not even as funny as Birdemic. It isn't. And Birdemic is actually funny in its ineptness.
Yeah, and Birdemic had a woman shitting in a field. This doesn't.
Exactly. There you go. That's a headline for the poster, isn't it?
Did you not find it funny when the little puppy died? And
it's fucking hilarious, that bit. Yeah.
Pick it up. He picked it up like a record.
Well, it was
looked like a...
It's like one of those Specsavers adverts. He picks up the corpse of the puppy, puts it on the turntable and starts playing.
Yeah.
Like a record.
On the fucking needle.
Fuck me, this comeback album by Shawani Body is rubbish.
Yeah, it's got a bit of fluff in the grooves. Oh, I didn't find any of it funny. That's the problem. I'm finding it funny now when you're talking about it, but I didn't. I really didn't. I spent 20 minutes just shouting, "Get back in the car and drive off." That's it.
How do we get out? Oh, there's no way to get out.
Really? So what? Apart from that car that's behind you and the straight track road that you were on for 10 minutes because we saw every fucking stone and road bump in that fucking trip up that hill. Oh, and go on.
They had the opportunity to have a reason for them not to get out of there. When he went out with the gun to look for the dog that was making a noise, and then the little puppy ran out. He could have turned the car lights on to shine a bit of light onto what he was looking at, but he didn't.
No,
and that would have given them an excuse not to actually leave. But they missed that opportunity.
Not just that opportunity, Elton. There were plenty of opportunities it missed.
A lot more things to worry about than just that.
Yeah. I mean, by the time they figured out that what they had to do was disable the car to make sure that they stayed there, I mean, that was like 30 minutes into the film by then, because he tries to start the car and it wouldn't start.
Yeah,
it's like, Really? The other thing was that whole scene with the kids making out, and then it does it at night. That whole scene, including the dialogue with the policeman, down to the second, was exactly the same scene, except they just filmed it at night. Even down to the fact that she had to stop. She had to stop kissing, drink the drink, hand it back to him. He drinks the drink, does a little shudder. They have a little kiss. The police pull up, tell them to move on. Then the police watch them drive away and go, kids. Except in the second one, there was a pistol shot, and he gets his fucking Zoom lollipop out, and goes for a bit of a wander. Fucking hellfire!
It's a spaceship. Whee.
Yeah, woo! Look, I can shine a light. Apparently, they couldn't film in the dark for very long because the lights attract too many moths. So, whatever that means. Look, I've got nothing. I really haven't. This is a fucking awful film, and I tell you what, it was so bad. We can't do a bad film after this. We can't do one. I can't watch a bad film after this. I have to just watch something even remotely entertaining, but not Fifth Element. Oh no. Anyway, so shall we do feedback?
Let's do that,
because I fucking got nothing on this film. Fucking crap.
It's feedback time.
Right, okay, so we're on to feedback for this to die for piece of shit. And the first piece of feedback from one of the more suffering feedbackers of the podcast is from Richard Svensson, who writes, and he went in through the he sent us an email, and then he sent it through the Blackdog podcast contact page, which you can get at blackdogpodcast.com. Go to contact us.
Very good.
There you go. And he writes, this is Richard Svensson, the lone animator.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's the lone animator. Hi-oh, Silver.
I was going to say, we should have the old Lone Ranger theme. You know?
We should.
Anyway, he writes, the master won't like this. Greetings, fellow brethren of the cult of the Black Dog, even that winged servant of the master, Mr. Owl.
Wake up.
I have to confess, I'm one of those unfortunate people who finds enjoyment in watching movies that are, shall we say, not up to the standards of traditional mainstream cinema. I love the Italian sword and sandals movies where hulking men who look like shiny German sausages toss around cardboard rocks and grapple with limp rubber monsters. I enjoy partaking in 70s slew of amateurish Sasquatch movies where the image is often blurry and dark and I can't even tell if I'm looking at Bigfoot's head or his arse. I absolutely adore the 1953 non-classic Robot Monster, which I have watched more than a few times than is probably good for my mental faculties, and I should get my head examined for liking anything of Ed Wood's Bride of the Monster as much as I do. I have been introduced to these bottom-of-the-shit pile films to my friends, and I've sat observing them as their eyes glass over, and they tumble into those pits of despair usually reserved for people who realise that their lives have been deprived of a sizable chunk of valuable time, which they will never, ever regain. Ah, the joys of bad movies. Most people seem to enjoy these movies because there are obvious lack of talent involved, feeling obliged to deride or laugh at the bad acting, poor special effects, and an overall knowledge of filmmaking that seems to be on par with your average garden slug. However, I enjoy them for an entirely different reason. These sorry-ass excuses for cinematic entertainment often have a childish glee which bypasses my cultural taste buds and fires right into the part of my mind where that nasty little monster-loving kid still dwells. It might have been failed ambition of these movies that I find endearing, but it most probably is something more primal, something intangible that cleverer men than me will have to dig it up. However, this infatuation does not include Manos, Hands of Fate. It might be one of the very few bad movies that I can only enjoy by engaging in mean-spirited heckling. The fact is, Manos is probably best viewed through the filter of that now classic MST3K episode, where the hosts of the show tear at a whole bunch of new arseholes. As I understand it, Manos episode is more or less launched the MST3K as a phenomenon. So what is it about Manos that leaves me wanting? I think it's the lack of that childish glee thing as I referred to earlier. Manos wants to be dramatic and nasty, but it lacks the guts or the competence to drive home its intentions. It's all-over lackluster execution, hits me over the head like a brick, only leaving me with a bad hangover. It's dull, it's repetitive, it's boring, and so-called Torgo's theme makes me want to kill someone, preferably the composer. The only saving grace is actually the character of Torgo, who constantly walks like he's trying to squeeze a ship back in again.
All been there.
Yeah, exactly. Try and push the turtle's head back. He's an endearingly bizarre character with the mask and the mascot of the film. That said, it's said that the insurance and fertilizer salesman Harold P. Warren made this movie over a bet, and it shows. Nobody involved in this weird experiment has worked in films before. Whatever you may say about the derided films of Ed Wood, you can't say that they're dull. He throws everything in the kitchen sink into his movies, wearing his heart on his sleeve through all of it. But it makes it a very special kind of talent, or lack thereof, to make a film that has a lurid plot make a film with such a lurid plot as that of Manos' dull. As is often the case with bad movies, the story behind the film is vastly more interesting than the actual film. The production history of Manos is a goldmine of truly bizarre examples of bad judgment that will leave you sitting slack-jawed with amazement, and there's plenty of documentation online to delve into. Take the time to do so. It will either raise an appreciation of the film nor the filmmakers, but it will be guaranteed to fascinate you. I've heard there's a sequel in the works, produced by enthusiasts who've said that they will ensure the values of the original movie are preserved. Manos, help us all. Best regards, Richard Svensson, the lone animator. Well, thank you very much for that, sir. So even purveyors of the so bad it's good variety think this film is shit. That's a good start. That's good. That's good. That means we're not going to get apologists for this film.
This pleases him.
This pleases Manos.
Could apologise for this film.
No. So anyway, thank you very much for that, Richard. Thank you very much indeed, sir. I know you have a blog. I think it is called The Lone Animator, isn't it? But if you do include it on your next feedback, and I will give it a little plug. So,
loneanimator.blogspot.com.
There you go. So do check that out. Thank you very much for that, Jim. So let's move on to our next bit of feedback. And who is that, Darren?
We have the Fiendish Dr. Will.
The Fiendish Dr. Will. And what does he say about Manos, Hands of Shit?
Well, his mail is titled Wow.
Right.
He writes, Good evening, Blackdog. Well, Manos was definitely an experience. It's the first thing I've come across that comes close to Birdemic in awfulness. In fact, it shares a lot of similarities with that film. Unbelievably terrible acting, ridiculously long gaps between the characters' lines where they failed to edit it. Where they failed to edit it in, and an unnecessarily long scene of them driving a car that adds absolutely nothing to the story. Add to the fact that they appeared to do several takes of some scenes and failed to cut out the bad ones. Like after the dog gets killed, the wife turned to go back in 3 times. Then was suddenly back in her husband's arms saying basically the same thing. Either that or I was having brain spasms while watching it. Probably brain spasms, is it? Has that effect on a lot of people like that.
Can you smell toast?
How they managed to repeat so much, leave so many gaps and have such long periods of nothing happening and still only get to 70 minutes is frankly the only saving grace of this abomination. The premise was so terribly constructed. No one turns up at somebody's house to ask for directions, then says, "We're staying here tonight," without even asking. Particularly not when you're told you're not welcome and your wife is absolutely dead set against it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael was such a ridiculously entitled douche, ordering Torgo all over the place and expecting everything to be done his way. Even down to his conviction that he was driving the right way 10 miles after it was apparent that he totally wasn't.
Told you.
I so wanted him to be roasted painfully for all eternity. Such a shame that he survived. And then he randomly wanders off, leaving his family alone. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing when Torgo attacked him, but it looked like he'd just gone out for a run. What a twat. The rest of the family weren't much better. At the end, the wife keeps randomly falling over while the kid stood there looking bored. And who the hell dubbed the voice for the kid? That voice was creepy as fuck.
It was creepier than anything else in the film.
Exactly, and sometimes it was just mumbling incoherent words as well, you know?
Yeah, like whispering into a microphone. Just like... Swallow your soul! Swallow your soul!
I did laugh when the master confronted Torgo because the dog kept wandering around and the handler had to keep pulling his head in to keep back in position. Can you explain to me how they were meant to be killing Torgo? They stood there rocking him gently back and forth and slapping him lightly. Were they waiting for him to starve to death? It had the same level of dramatic tension as the procession of shame in What We Do in the Shadows. So yes, that was definitely an experience, more enjoyable than Birdemic, if only because it was shorter and older, which may give it some allowance. How the hell could you make a film like Birdemic in 2010? But that's like saying one pile of shit stinks very slightly less than another.
Yes.
Till next time, fiendish Dr. Will. P.S. Was it just me, or did the policeman pull out a bright red dildo right at the end?
No, I think if he had, it would have been a lot more interesting kind of film.
Yeah, and then said, "We're going in."
Yes.
Quite
exactly.
literally.
Yes, and then walked 2 feet away from his car and gone, well, that's us examining the entire desert.
You hear?
Yeah. Gut. Nice. Well, thank you very much for that fiendish Dr. Will. I don't know. I would prefer Birdemic over this. I think there's more chance of me actually watching Birdemic again and not being cross at it than this. This may be cross. Very cross. Apoplectically, incomprehensibly cross. Anyway, so thank you very much for that, sir. And let's move on. So, Jim, who do you have next?
We have a new feedback to Mr. Griffin. Madil. I don't know, it's late. I'm sorry, Griffin, I'm murdering your name.
We'll say Madil.
Madil. You go with that?
Yeah, go with that.
Correct us later. We'll get it right next week.
Yes. Go for it.
Anyhow, Griffin writes, hello, Lee, Darren, Elton, Jim, and anyone else on board, and Mr. Owl.
Hey.
Please feel free to edit these ramblings, as this constitutes my first-time feedback, and I'm sending it largely to unburden my guilt, since I feel I played a part in instigating the choice of this week's film. I anticipate my immediate banning from the Facebook group as a result. I'm a connoisseur of terrible cinema, but even I struggle to find anything remotely enjoyable about Manos' Hands of Fate. Lines are repeated verbatim literally the second they finish, making me wonder if they didn't have enough of a usable soundtrack to work with, or perhaps the cast just got into the habit of repeating themselves when they couldn't remember their next line. This seems especially baffling since the film was shot MOS, without live sound recording, and the whole thing was apparently dubbed in post by just 3 people. Halfway in, I was convinced that the kid was only there because someone in the cast and crew wasn't able to secure a babysitter for the duration of the shoot. He mostly sits around yawning or taking naps and seems utterly disinterested. The fight scenes, in inverted commas, wouldn't convince a toddler, and what few opportunities exist for tension are nipped in the bud by shockingly clumsy editing and an easy listening light jazz soundtrack. Nice. So, what can I say in praise of Manos? Well, the female lead was very easy on the eyes. Actually, as incompetent as the film is on every possible level, I do have to admire the labour of love it undoubtedly was. I write and act, albeit as a very small fish in a small pond. I know how hard it is to get in anything in front of the camera in the first place. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I can't take the gross ineptitude on display here as a slap in the face. These folks deserve at least a little credit for banging out a feature in 6 days. Truth be told, I've probably been in worse films myself. It might be interesting to see the original script for Manos, as I'm sure whatever vision was there to begin with was compromised by logistical issues by the time shooting began. Also, some craftsmanship has evidently applied to the painting and Torko's goat legs. Perhaps the most interesting thing about Manos are the filmmakers themselves. IMDb claims that Tom Nyman, who played the Master, divorced 2 different women on the same date. And it's impossible to look into the film without feeling sorry for John Reynolds, an apparently tragic figure. Seeing that poor fucker shuffling and hobbling with the fawn leg braces on under his own clothes, an effect that could have easily been accomplished just by stuffing newspapers down his trousers, made me sad. Looking like a genuine homeless hillbilly, he limps along in clear discomfort and is clearly absolutely hammered during his scene with the female lead. Between the booze and stilt-walking shenanigans, she has to slap about her foot from his face, so not to send him on his arse. Right, that's me. I suspect I've gone long enough on feedback, so I apologise if you have to bin this. In summary, Manos is a film I wish I could like, but I just can't. That soundtrack, though. Doodle pip doggers, Griffin.
Thank you very much for that, Griffin, and thank you, Jim. Yeah, I think you may have. I think Griffin did actually mention this on the Facebook group. I think that's probably what put the idea in my head. See, it's not my fault.
It's all his fault.
See, it's all his fault.
Well, you're an easily led fool. You let his words guide you.
Weak-minded fool. Yeah.
As for the female lead, she was, I think, a Miss Texas beauty queen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to get topless.
Oh, my God.
When the director sprang this on her, she just turned around and said, no. He said, only testing.
Oh, God.
But I noticed that about the lines. It was kind of, I think I tweeted when I was watching it. It's one of the greenest films ever, as every line is recycled at least 3 times, often in the same scene.
Yeah.
And having watched the making of, I think it was a case of, it was the actors just giving different line readings.
Yeah.
And they were meant to be, pick the best one and edit it out.
Instead, they were all just included.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What Griffin was talking about with the kid, though, the disinterested kid, was nothing emphasised that more than the bit with what was the name of the dog? What was the name of the dog?
Oh, I
Scraps.
can't remember now.
Let's just say Scraps. It's like
Bert.
It's like it's like she went to sleep. The dog that she trained and loved ran out, was killed by unknown animals, which we never find out. Nothing to do with that dog, clearly. And then the parents just go, "Oh, Scraps went away," and the kid just goes, "Oh." It's like, what? What the writer and director of this lacked basic understanding of human emotions. It's like you didn't even figure that the kid would be A, upset, B, terrified as to why her dog had ran off, and C, kind of a little bit more crying. Wouldn't have gone missing. Wouldn't have gone bad.
Yeah, she was just bored.
This is like, oh, the dog's gone. Fuck it. Yeah. What's for dinner? Anyway, thank you very much for that, Griffin. And when I find the post that I can actually link some evidence saying that you were actually involved, I'll back away and blame you, and it won't be my fault anymore, and I'll be free as a bird. So, thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback, and yes, do let us know if we mispronounced your name as well. So let's move on. And Elton, who do we have next?
Okay, I have Fred Dr. Scum Lubnow.
Aha, Dr. Scum in lovecraftianscience.wordpress.com.
Yes.
And
the subject
yes,
he gives us is, "Oh, Torgo, you silly scamp. Oh, for fuck's sake, I fucked it up in the fucking subject." There we go.
Yeah. Go on, just keep moving.
It's the spirit of Manos. Carry on. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not.
Hello.
Play Targo's theme and start again.
Yeah, hold on.
Hello, Blackdog. Hope all is well. I have seen Manos, Hands of Fate, at least 3 or 4 times, and every time I found it extremely entertaining.
Keep going, Elton.
Of course, this was the Mystery Science Theatre 3000 version of the film. This viewing was the first time I've watched a film movie free of the MST3K comments, and I regretted it. Without the Mystery Science Theatre commentary, the film was tedious and stupid, but worst of all, it was boring. When people say that films like Jaws 3D, Little Nicky, or Freddy Got Fingered are the worst films ever made, they obviously have never seen films like Manos, Hands of Fate. Yes, those previously mentioned films are bad, but they're not bad down to the level that is Manos, which is not even a good bad movie like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
No.
While there is a kernel of a semi-interesting weird tale hiding somewhere in this film, it is so deep inside this huge pile of goat shit that you have to squint a little to see it. Everything from top to bottom is appallingly bad about this film, and while it has the look of a pseudo-documentary or a grindhouse film, it does nothing with this. The acting, script, camera work, editing, production, and directing are all extremely bad. Even the internal logic of the story makes no sense, even for a horror movie. There are long periods of time where absolutely nothing happens, and long pauses between character dialogue that feel like all it's doing is eating up time so the movie can be called a full-length feature film.
Yes.
I think that's absolutely true there. I do have to say that the long pauses in the film are perfect for the Mystery Science Theatre 3000 commentaries. They give this film a good ripping, which it absolutely deserves. At one point, the crew of the MST3K compared Torgo to Droppo. Droppo, the lazy Martian from the Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yeah.
MST3K is full of comedic gems in this worthless film. In conclusion, I cannot recommend this piece of crap of film for anyone, even for someone who is looking for a good bad film. However, I would absolutely recommend the Mystery Science Theatre 3000 version of this film for multiple laughs. Thank you, Blackdog. And next week's film had better be this week's film. Sorry. Thank you, Blackdog. And next week's film had to be better than this week's. Fred, Dr. Scum, love now. P.S.
Yeah, go on.
Very excited for work this week. We'll be doing a fishery survey of some lakes up in North New Jersey. Looking at some of the electroshocking work will be conducted over the evening hours, and hopefully none of our associates will be sleeping with the fish.
See, he's a fucking hitman. I tell you, he is. he's either just thinking up euphemisms for being a hitman, or he is a bloody hitman. I think he's a hitman. I think he's double bluffing it.
Would you like to try on these concrete shoes?
Yes. Nobody's going to be sleeping with the fishes. Not if we're all agreeable, sir.
Just hold this chain. It's very weighty.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Allow me to show you where we keep the fish. So anyway, yeah, well, thank you very much for that, Dr. Scum. Yeah, I think I might have to watch it with MST3K if I ever watch it again at all. But thank you very much for that, sir. Yeah. Cool. So if you want to read more of Dr. Scum's thoughts on things pertaining to, well, pretty much everything, but mainly Lovecraftian stuff, then head on over to lovecraftianscience.wordpress.com. Right, our last bit of written feedback is from, he says, desperately trying to find it, Gary Mr. Spock Madden. And he writes, greetings, Lee, Darren, Jim, Elton, and that master's favourite, Mr. Owl. Thank you. You tell us, Mr. Owl. I must have tried 3 versions of Manos Hands of Fate, there you go, before I finally settled in to watch. At first I assumed the versions available on YouTube were incomplete. Then I figured out the film had such a poorly executed cold open that it looked like the opening credits had been cut off. See? Wasn't just me. Anyway, after getting past this hurdle, I spent the next 20 minutes thinking Manos was a badly dubbed foreign film before realising the film's editors just never bothered to sync up the sound. Hard to imagine that these would be the least of the film's sins, but I didn't realise that what was coming. I can almost forgive the amateurish camera work with its jerky panning and zooming. Back in my grade school days, as a young commander, Wolf and I attempted Ray Harryhausen's stop motion with a Kodak Brownie 8mm. These starred our collection of Star Wars action figures, and we used picnic tables as a tripod. Having seen the camera work in Manos, I realised how good those childhood films were. Anyway, it's obvious that Manos wasn't shot with much more of a budget or skill that we had back in those days. And part of me wants to forgive that. What I can't forgive, though, are the countless shots that linger on nothing. I lost track of how many shots that we see people who weren't reacting, a dashboard of a car, or whatever the fuck. And the acting, if I can insult a profession by using that term to describe what's being displayed on a length of celluloid toilet paper. I've seen mushrooms that were more animated than this film. Good news is that I took a look at IMDb, and it looks like nobody involved in this film ever worked again. And then there's the plot. Actually, the plot is pretty close as I'll come to complimenting Manos. It's pretty much boilerplate slasher horror stuff. There's a family of morons lost in the countryside, a creepy roadside hotel, or whatever the master's lair could be called, a weird inbred-looking Torgo, and an empty night. You could substitute Manos and Torgo for cultists, inbreeding and Torgo's cultists for inbreeding chainsaw-wielding cannibal hillbillies, Norman Bates and his mummy problems, hockey mask-wearing swamp weirdos, or anything you like. The rules, the scenario, and the ultimate outcome are all there. I propose that if Manos had been executed with even the moderate amount of skill, Manos would have been lauded as one of those forerunners of a slasher genre. As it is, the only horror in it is our unrelenting ineptitude of the cast and crew. So, to sew this one up in a hand-emblazoned moo-moo, Manos was awful. Worse than awful. Please do not do this again to us, Lee. I'll send you booze as a bribe if I have to. Just open negotiations, man. Don't go nuclear without warning. Friends don't make friends watch Manos. Live long, and Master would not approve. Gary, Mr. Spock, Madden. See, the thing is, you start offering me booze not to do these things, and then suddenly I'm starting to think, I suffered pain, however I may be getting free booze. Suddenly, the options on the table are a little bit more open. Yeah, well, anyway, thank you very much for that, Gary. Yes, sorry. I didn't mean to go nuclear. I didn't realise the magnitude of how bad this film was. Michael Cornett was desperately trying to stop us all the way through, the event page, the page on Blackdog Facebook group, just saying, "Don't do this. Don't do this. Please, just do not do this." And then we did. And then on his Facebook wall, he was just like, "They did it. I can hear them crying from across the Atlantic." So, yeah, we'll get round to Michael a little bit later on. His feedback's coming up, but we'll go on to the first bit of MP3 feedback now, and that is Gary's brother Greg. That's Mr. Wolf, and let's hear what he thought of Manos, Hands of Fate.
Greetings, Darren, Lee, Jim, Elton, and that nocturnal menace, Mr. Owl. This is Greg, Mr. Worf Madden, here with my feedback on Manos, the Hand of Fate. Now, this movie is a complete mystery to me, so I figured I will do like I did last week. I'll do my previewing thoughts, and then I will move on up, pause the recording, and go to my post-viewing feedback. First, I know it was on Mystery Theater or Science Theater 3000 or whatever it was, but I never was a fan of the show. I never watched it that much when it was on, so it's a mystery, and evidently it's a mystery to everybody because I don't think anybody on the cast had seen it. Now, I heard it was bad, but I put my trust in Mr. Metcalf not to put us down a road that is too awful. So I will pause the movie here, or the recording here, and watch the movie, and give you my post-viewing feedback. So here we go. Lee, you bastard. What crap is this? I mean, this movie stank. It stank worse than a truckload of rotten cabbages. has been setting out in the sun for a week. If you're not sure how that is, I'll see if I can get the Mr. Metcalf delivery of that to his house there. I'm sure he would appreciate that. This movie was bad. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I usually try to find something positive in it, but this movie, there was none of that. I mean, the acting was terrible. The music was awful. It looked like a home movie. I mean, let's put it this way. I've seen better acting from a group of third graders, and I'd done better film work when I was a kid. This was bad all the way around. It was supposed to be horror. I didn't even get a good chuckle out of it. It was so bad. We had whatever his name was, Targo, the inbred, drugged out Igor wannabe. I don't even know what to say. They don't even have a name for him. The Master. These guys were terrible. I was wondering if Targo would ever make it through the scenes sometimes. And an interesting fact I seen on some trivia for this show, that he was actually strung out on LSD the entire time of the filming of this show, which would explain a lot. But his character was obviously an inbred hillbilly Igor family group from Frankenstein there. The fight scenes, or whatever you want to call them, the wrestling around in the sand, and then giving Targo, I want to call him Igor all the time, a good rub down on the sacrificial stone, or whatever it's supposed to be, was almost hilarious. I mean, I can't even go any further on that. It was just bad. This movie was so bad. I can see now that after I watched it, I looked it up on IMDb, and yes, it is a terrible movie. I don't think any actor or actress in this movie ever went any further than this. Thank God. But I'll leave it at that. I'm speechless. So I'm going to wrap it up here before I stutter my way around again. This is Greg, Mr. Worf Madden, wishing you all a great week to come, and signing off from the USS Blackdog's security post. Toodles.
Well, yeah, I can only apologise. That's all I can do. I can just sit here, take it on the chin. I made a mistake.
Yes, you did.
I made a terrible, awful mistake.
I think when Data was talking to Geordie LaForge that one time about Commander Shelby, Data went, "Did she err?" Geordie went, "Oh yes,
she erred." Yeah,
you did done.
I did done err. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm liking the two approaches the brothers are taking. You see, Gary is saying that I will give you booze if you do not go for another bad shit film, whereas Greg is taking the other route of saying that this film stank worse than a bunch of cabbages left out in the sun, and then threatening to send them round my house. Which one?
Has this replaced the bag full of
bag of shit?
The lighted bag of shit.
Exactly.
On your doorstep.
So there's your choice. It's like, brother one, here's some booze. Do not do any more crap films. Brother two, here's a big bag of rotten lettuces left out in the sun. Do not do it again, or you will get more.
Wow, it's like
little from column A, little from column B.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Old Testament Madden versus New Testament Madden, isn't it?
Oh my word! Don't go down that route. Don't. It's the Star Trek analogies is fine. Let's not get biblical in the whole thing.
Don't give him a god complex.
No. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Greg. Thank you for your feedback, sir. And yeah, it's a bad film. I can only say that enough times. I'm sorry. Sorry, don't judge me. I'm so sorry. We made a mistake. Oh, God. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Greg. And, speak to you soon. Right, let's move on. The next piece of MP3 feedback is Rosmosis, who's got a writing Facebook group. And I will find out what it is and tell you all about that after this feedback. But let's hear what she said, or what she thought, about Manos, Hands of Fate.
Sure is good to get away. Damn the rain. Vacations are fine, but this one should be great. Yeah, the game's come up with a new shadow blast.
Oh, I slept for it. Oh, I missed the whole thing. Okay, gotta try again. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this film is so goddamn boring. Okay, I gotta try again. Okay, here I go. I need coffee. I'm gonna give it another go. Here we go. Shit! I'm awake! Oh, fuck, not again! Okay. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Right. Okay. Third time's a fucking jump. I need stronger coffee! Okay. Did I watch this bit already? I must have done. I guess I did. I've got to be up tomorrow morning. I'm going to be up early. Just rest my eyes for a moment. No, I won't miss anything. This scene has repeated itself like a million times. Okay. Go to sleep. Ah, motherfucker! Okay, that's it. I quit. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. It's not worth it. This film is so shit. It's so fucking shit. I hate it. Okay. Fuck this film. It's so bad. It's so boring. It's so goddamn boring. Oh, why is this a cult classic? Why is this a cult classic? That's it. I'm going to bed. Fuck all of y'all. I'm going to bed. Peace out. Drop the mic. I'm out.
Well, there you go.
I think at the end of that tune we're supposed to go, and let's give a big dating game show kiss.
Mwah. Well, thank you very much for that, Roz. Yeah, there you go. Manos Hands of Fate, cure for your insomnia. Beats any known strength of coffee. Thank you very much for that. And, yeah, well, obviously, she wasn't happy. I do like that 8-bit version of the dating game, though. I like that. Can't go wrong with a bit of Sid chip music.
We should have that.
Yeah, we might even make that our end tracks going forward.
Excellent.
Once we have the shindig, you see, I always change the end track. So
let's get some really crappy MIDI versions of tunes and have those.
Yeah, nice. Maybe. Nice. Well, anyway, thank you very much for that, Roz. And yeah, like I say, I did say I'd look up the writing page, because she's writing books and she's writing stories. And so if you go to pages, so what you need to do is go to facebook.com / Rosalind Mosis, ROSALIND MOSIS. There you go. Go there. That's her page for her story writing, authoring, writing page thing. So go check that out. So thank you very much for that, Roz, and we'll see you at the shindig, if not before. And thank you for your feedback. Cool. Right, so that just leaves us with one last piece of MP3. And it is the man who's going to essentially do the MP3 equivalent, I would imagine, along with his Martian friend, of saying, no, I bloody told you, no, I told you so, no, bloody no. And that is Michael Kent Cornett, the belly stapler, our man in Baltimore. So let's hear him mocking us for making this decision. And yeah, let's see what he thought of Manos Hands of Fate.
Good evening, Black Doggers. Good evening to Lee, Darren, Jim, and Elton. This is Mike Cornett, the Belly Stapler, your man in Baltimore.
And this is Voldar, your guy on Phobos.
So, Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Good God, man, that movie was shit.
Okay, yes. I actually own a copy of this. I've seen it a couple of times. Once on MST3K.
You own this?
Yes, I own it.
I don't know you anymore.
Well, hey. Actually, I own it because, like, quite a while ago, there was a company called Mill Creek that was issuing 50 movie sets, you know, with, like, brief movies crammed on both sides of a cheap DVD. I still have it. But, yeah, this movie is just so epic in its awfulness.
Epic in its awfulness is correct. This is almost unwatchable. The only thing I liked about it was the guy's mustache.
Yeah, you would.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, this is just such a legend in the bad movie world that Hal Warren just didn't know what he was doing, and then the characters in this movie are such assholes. I mean, every single one of them. I usually don't like violence against children in movies, but I wanted that girl to die. It just drove me up the wall.
She was terrible. They were all terrible.
Yeah, and then Torgo, I just, after having heard an interview with Jackie Naiman, who played the little girl, who was the daughter of the actor who played the master, she is just an absolute sweetheart, but she talked about the actor who played Torgo, and he was just apparently a really sweet guy, but just so messed up. You've probably read the bit where he committed suicide not long after the film. There was a rumor going around for a long time that he wore the braces on his legs backwards, and they caused him so much pain that he became addicted to painkillers, and because of that addiction, he ended up committing suicide. Totally false.
Well, thank goodness for that.
The real problem was, okay, he did actually, and Wikipedia says this, Wikipedia is wrong. He was wearing the braces correctly. However, the shoot was only for 8 days. That's not enough time to develop an addiction to painkillers. The problem was the guy was messed up and he had a drug problem. And he was high for most of the filming, which you can tell just by looking at him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was a really, really deeply depressed guy. I mean, people who knew him before all this happened said, yeah, he was a really screwed up guy. So I look at Torgo, I mean, and I just kind of feel a bit of sadness for the actor who played him.
And I felt kind of sad for him too, because he was lonely. He just wanted to have someone to cuddle with. I get that.
Okay. Now you're bringing me down.
Sorry.
Well, I can't help it. You know, you can't help it either. You're stuck up there mining tapioca on Phobos.
Yep.
But, yeah, this is just so absolutely god-awful. From all the scenes of people just standing around staring at each other, and Torgo trying to grope the woman, and she just stands there and doesn't, like, step away or push him away or anything else like that. She just stands there. And just all the fucking shit. Oh, this movie is... And the thing is, I mean, okay, compare this to The Love Guru. The Love Guru was made by people who ought to fucking know better. And that's really one of the things that makes it as bad as it is the fact that the talent and the experience behind that film should have made something better. This movie, Manos, it's bad. I mean, it's so bad, but there's something almost endearing in its badness because it was made by people who just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. That really sums it up for me. I mean, it's just like, I can watch it every once in a great while after a couple drinks, or maybe.
Definitely a couple dozen, maybe.
It's fascinating to me in its awfulness. It really is. And you sit there and wonder, what were they thinking when they were editing this? I mean, did they edit it? But it's just, it's awful, but yet there's something almost fascinating and endearing about it. And I'm sure Chris Johnson probably understands that. I wonder what he has to say about this. I'd like to hear it. Anyway, we've run on for a bit. Everything good up your way, Torgo? Torgo.
You just called me Torg.
Yes, okay, sorry. It was a slip of the tongue. Everything okay up where you are, Voldar?
Yes, everything's fine. I had another appointment with Dr. Blorch, and things are going really well. They actually might put me on a work release.
Oh, where will you go?
Well, I don't know. They say I'd fit right in Baltimore.
Oh dear. Okay, well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going on for way too long, so it's a warm Saturday night here, although not as bad as it has been. Not as bad as you guys are. You all take care. You got anything to say, Voldar?
Nope, I'm fine. Just don't call me Torgo.
It was a slip, okay? It was a fucking slip. God. All right. See you later. Mwah. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for that, and thanks to Michael, and of course Toga. No, Voldar. In these tapioca mines. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Wow. I mean, that's as close to a positive review as we've had, I think, to be honest. But endearing. I don't. I can't. I
suppose that's what it'd do if you watch it 3 or 4 times.
What? So basically, what you're saying is Michael's suffering a little bit of Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm, yeah.
I mean, did you guys ever? You obviously didn't cover this for Witless, did you?
No, we didn't.
No one stepped up to sort of say it was a guilty pleasure, I guess. But yeah, I would be interested to hear what the Shitfinder General thought of this, because I imagine he fucking loves it. That I don't know why. Just something about it just makes me think he's all over this. But maybe put something in the comments, Chris, when you hear this. Satisfy our curiosity.
But he knew exactly where to find it as well.
He did. Anyway, so thank you very much for that, Michael. Yeah, wow.
Well, on the endearing thing, I think there's bad films come in many different sort of species.
Yeah.
For me, the ones that are really annoying are the ones that are made in the spirit of meanness or cynicism, or one with a contempt for their audience. Transformers 2, for example. Whereas Manos Hands of Fate is a case of amateurs trying to make a film and failing spectacularly. You know what I mean? They weren't setting out to make a bad film or just to knock something out to make a book. I mean, allegedly he made it for a bet, but he wanted to make a movie. That was, they were doing it for fun, and they got it horribly wrong. And a film like that, as bad as it is, you can think, well, as Griffin said, well, they gave it a shot. They made a film. It was awful, which I think is better than someone who has resources and cynically cranks something out that's terrible and doesn't care.
Yeah. But he didn't care. That was the problem with Manos. It was a bet. It had no merit whatsoever. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? We've gone around this house a few times with like the people loving things that are so bad they're good, but I just don't. I never quite get that. The one thing that's come up out of all these feedbacks is I've got a new appreciation for Ed Wood and his works, because he at least had a beginning, middle, and an end to his ineptness that made sense. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't. I mean, fair enough. If there's something you find endearing with it, I think fair play, more power to you. But I just, oh my God, I just can't. I just can't. I can't take this film anything other than just like a complete clusterfuck of celluloid. It's just terrible. But
considering its reputation, what did you expect, really?
Well, this is true. I know. Again, I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, really, I can't. I mean, it's just like, what was I expecting, really? But it's just, I don't know. It's just It's hard to say. I mean, there is that so bad it's good, but there's also there's a joy in the heckling. There's a joy in taking something apart, and you know when we did Birdemic, for example, or when we did was it Mortal Kombat, just ripping the piss is actually quite funny and therapeutic and cathartic and that kind of thing. The problem with this was I just never had anything to lock onto. I just went, that's just shit. That is just utter shit from start to finish, and there's nothing even remotely I can laugh at. I just look at it and just go, why am I wasting my time on what's essentially a first year's sort of YouTube channel? You know, we've given little Billy, you know, aged 6, a camera and a YouTube channel. But there you go. Anyway, sorry about that. Right, so thank you very much for that, Michael. Thank you to everyone who sent in feedback and suffered through this film. I can only apologise. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what we're going to be doing next week. So what we're going to do is we've made a hastily rearranged decision. Arranged decision on what we were going to do. We had a couple of films in the back pocket to pick out, and the general consensus was to go for a film that would spur a bit of discussion, would be at least entertaining for some people. We can't have film that's just deliberately bad. If someone doesn't like it, then that's their choice, but you know, go for a film that's generally considered to be quite a good film. And we had a couple. Won't tell you what they are because they'll end up on the docket at some point. And we just had a little straw poll, and we came up with Cabin in the Woods, which is a horror film, but it's a Joss Whedon, who's the guy? Oh God, I'm gonna have to remember his name before next week. But fuck. Anyway, it's late. It's late.
I don't think his last name was Fuck.
His name wasn't Fuck, was it? No, it was Drew. Oh, for goodness sake! I nearly said Drew McWeeny, but that's not the truth. Hold on, Cabin.
Who are you after?
The director. It wasn't directed by Joss Whedon. It was Drew Goddard. That's it, Drew Goddard, who did. He was involved in The Martian, and he directed Cloverfield, and he worked on some of the Netflix Daredevil and Cabin in the Woods. So between him and Joss Whedon, they produced some actually fairly good output. Variable in places, but generally speaking, good. As far away from Manos as it was possible to get, without just going back and doing, hey, it's the 35th anniversary of The Thing, let's do The Thing again. So we're going to do Cabin in the Woods. Have we all seen this film?
Yes.
Yes.
And very quickly, what did everyone think? Darren?
Loved it.
Okay. Jim?
I enjoyed it, but I felt the marketing actually ruined it.
Yeah, okay, cool. And Elton?
Didn't like it.
Okie dokie, there you go. I loved it. I haven't seen it since I saw it at the cinema. I think I saw it with you, did I, Dale? I can't remember.
You may very well have done it.
Well, we didn't know what we were getting. We just walked straight in and just was like, what?
I can't remember now.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time. It's been a long road. Anyway, so yes, so we're going to see this. Are we all looking forward to seeing it again?
I am.
You are? I am. Jim?
I'm looking forward to going back to it.
Yeah, and Elton?
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a second go and reevaluate what I thought last time. So, cool. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, so there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to take part, send in some feedback for Cabin in the Woods. Like I say, it's not the best film in the world we could have picked. I know that a few people are going to come out and just go, nope, absolutely not. We don't like this film. I've seen a few reactions like that before. That's fine. But you know what? Some people are going to like this, and it's as far away from Manos as we could possibly get. So that's our excuse. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I'm not telling you what other things we're going to have, because everyone suddenly goes, why didn't you pick that one? So anyway, we'll move on. So if you want to send in feedback for Cabin in the Woods, send it in to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or alternatively go on to bless me. Or alternatively, professional podcast here, go to blackdogpodcast.com and click on the Contact Us page and send it through there, or get on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Blackdog Podcast, or get onto Twitter, which is @BlackDogPodcast. I think you can see a theme emerging here. So let us know what you think. But before we go, Jim, do you want to tout your wares, sir?
Yes, you can hear me on my own podcast, the Hypnagorious podcast. This week I've been looking at two obscure 50s mummy movies.
Mm-hmm.
And where's my show list? What am I doing this weekend? And this weekend I'm going back to an old British children's TV series, The Clifton House Mystery, which pretty much scared the pants off a generation in the mid-70s.
Wow. That rings a bell, but I don't think I ever saw that, so I'll be interested to hear that one. Cool. Okay. And Elton, what about you, sir?
You can catch me this week on theshonkylab.com, where I am joined by Ollie Peters and Pete Hammond to talk about driving and the driving tests and first cars and accidents and all the stuff in between as well.
And medicine.
And medicine, yes. I forgot about that.
Which may or may not be interrelated. Cool, okay. And what about your Grand Prix podcast?
Yeah, grandprixpodcast.com or iTunes and stuff like that. It's me and Andy talking about cars that go round in circles.
Flappy paddles and round in circles. And being pushed into walls or something.
Uh-huh.
There you go. See? It's a wall pushy, drivey, roundy, paddly podcast.
That's the title.
Just trips off the tongue. And what about your Band of Brothers one?
Oh God, yeah. That was supposed to come back this week, but unfortunately, I had Nightcall ring me up while we were just about to record, so I couldn't record it. So hopefully, this Sunday we're going to record the next episode of that, and that's on road2media.com.
Brilliant. And you can also hear me on Space Doc Jury with Pete and Andy. We are having some sort of technical issues in terms of actually having a extra third host. So we might be a bit off the air on Sunday, or we might be back with a unique way of filling in for Andy, who's not in. Do listen in. You can find us at spacedocjury.com and on iTunes. Right, okay, that's it. Time to wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to everyone who sent in feedback and actually watched this pile of utter bilge. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Elton.
Word.
Yes, and we shall catch you all next week for Cabin in the Woods. Until then, take care, and we'll speak to you soon. Till then, tatty bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Oh, bollocks to it.